Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Toby. Welcome to the podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. I'm going to give a big shout out to my day ones for the past 6 years, my subscribers, my listeners. I appreciate people who talk about this podcast, who share this podcast, who support this podcast, who write reviews for this podcast. Really, really appreciate all your support. I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been giving it away for free. So many people ask me why I don't film it, why I don't monetize on YouTube, why don't I charge people for it on Patreon? And their answer is because I don't want to. I love these conversations in my kitchen. I love the honesty. I love that people want to come back for 2 or 3 episodes, the reoccurring guests that I have all the time. I love it. No lights, no cameras. I myself do not like going on podcasts that are being filmed and have lights. I've done it a couple times. I'll probably never do it again. I don't feel like myself in those situations. So I want all my guests to be as comfortable as possible. I do have sponsors. The sponsors keep my shit going. They keep it alive. But I will never interrupt a conversation with an ad in the middle of it. People do that all the time, and I will never interrupt the flow of a conversation. So don't worry about that. But I do have amazing sponsors who I align myself with, who the products that I use on a daily basis. I've turned down so much money for sponsors that want to be part of this podcast with companies I've never tried or didn't align with. I'm very picky about who I have on my sponsors and have on this podcast. That being said, check out the sponsors. Joe, cue up the music. Since 1987, Rockabilia has been around doing officially licensed merch. No bootlegs from all the artists that I freaking love, from pop to hip hop to rock to hardcore to punk. Over 500,000 items on this website, independently owned, operated in the USA. Custom limited collabs drop every month exclusively on this website from visual artists and tattoo artists. We have so many bands that I love and artists that I love, from Gaga to Blink, Katy Perry, Bad Brains, Beastie Boys, De La, Tribe Called Quest, 50 Cent, Billy, Deftones, Dead Kennedys, DMX, Dr. Dre, Eric B. and Rakim, Goo Goo Dolls, Hall & Oates, Wu-Tang, U2, Snoop, TSO, and Paramore. Those is to name a few of all my favorite bands that are on this website. I've owned t-shirts from all those artists throughout my life. Now I know to go here only. All officially licensed merchandise. Check out Rockabilia Instagram. Also go to rockabilia.com and use my code OLLC10 and get 10% off. That's rockabilia.com. Use my code OLLC10 and get 10% off your purchases. Thank you to Rockabilia for being our new sponsor. Welcome to OLLC fam. As we get older, we start paying attention to what we put in our bodies. I personally have been listening to my body since I was 18 when I went vegan. I've always been focused on my health. It's super important, mental and physical health. But it's really important for people who are just starting to get more healthy and trying to step up their life. Doing your homework, reading the labels, researching and verifying everything that's quality. It's part of the game these days. That's why I started drinking AG1s. I'm so proud to have them as a sponsor of my podcast. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut support and is backed by multiple research studies so you can trust what you're putting into your body. We're all so busy these days, so just store a pack of AG1 in the morning into a cup of water and shake it up and drink it. I love the way it tastes. I do it every single morning. It's part of my routine. I bring the packets on tour. It's an incredible life changer for me. Many supplements only reference research from ingredients in their product, but I trust AG1 in my daily routine because it's constantly putting the formula to the test. It's backed by multiple research studies. In one of those research studies, AG1 was shown to have double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, which is super important because these help digestion in the immune system and the immune health. And these bacteria are known to help with digestion as well, gas and bloating, which I freaking need. And it also promotes regular bowel movements, what I can attest to. In another research study, 97% participants felt more energy after 30 days, and 91% of the participants noticed that they needed less coffee after 60 days. I quit coffee like 5 months ago. I know I'm good on that. But AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's going to work, and it gives me a peace of mind covering all my nutrition bases for the day. In fact, I trust it so much, that's why I'm spreading the word about it. That's why it sponsors my podcast. Thanks to Angie Huberman for turning me on to AG1s, connecting me with them, and now they're part of my podcast. It's so easy and satisfying to start your day with AG1s. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of the vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your purchase at drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. It's never been a better time to focus on your health and wellness and get back on track, man. Take control of your daily health. Health is wealth. Welcome to the One Life, One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Today, I have a very, very special guest in my kitchen. who's been a big part of my life and my band's career, Mr. Brett Gurewitz. Mr. Brett, thank you for being here.
Hey, Toby.
Thanks for being here. I was on you were my fifth episode. Now like on my 300th something episode, and we came to Epitaph and we did it in 2019. So thank you for like believing me back then. Give me a chance.
Oh, dude, I always believed in you, and I thought it was a lot longer than that. But
no, 2019, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, congratulations on how the podcast has grown.
Thank you. I mean, lots happened since 2019. Obviously, we had a pandemic, and I think Bad Religion dropped their last. It's been a minute since you dropped a record, but that was the last one, Age of Unreason, right?
That's right. Yeah.
2019. Yeah, that's a crazy time to drop a record back then, because then the world is shut down.
It was a crazy time in the world back then in general, yeah.
So you guys working on something new right now, or?
Well, the guys are doing a lot of touring.
Yeah.
They just played the When We Were Young Fest.
Yeah.
They toured co-headliner with Dropkick.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too.
A little while ago. And Greg and I are writing, but there's not any announcement about a new record, but there will be one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you kind of hop in and hop out. You want to play some shows still?
I haven't for a long time,
okay.
but I'm not saying never.
Yeah. Do you miss going on tour and stuff like that, or no?
I don't miss going on tour, but I remember it very fondly, and I'm very grateful I had that experience in my life, because I truly loved it.
Yeah.
Especially touring in foreign countries, in the tour bus, music playing on the radio, middle of the night. I mean, it's just so romantic, and I always really loved it, and meeting people everywhere you go. But I'm a dad now, and I have employees now. It's just it wouldn't be possible with my life anymore.
Yeah, super, super busy. You remember going from your first van to your first bus? Because it's so amazing. That's such a beautiful moment.
Yeah, it's not that so much I remember the van to the bus, but what I remember is the first time that Bad Religion really blew up on tour, because it was really sudden. I guess it was it might have been was it the No Control or Against the Grain tour? I'm not sure, but we this kid named Mike Caron I think he was like from New England, said, "Hey, I'm taking bands over to Europe. American punk bands can play there. They like American punk. You guys should let me book you a tour." And he was just this kid, and we agreed to it. And he said, "Don't get your hopes up. I was just over here with the Vandals. They did okay.
Wow.
But we're going to do okay. But don't get your hopes. It's not going to be crazy."
Yeah.
And we landed, and from the very first show, it was just absolute mayhem. I mean,
wow.
we found, and our tour manager, booking agent kid didn't know either. He was just taking his guess, like, "Hey, maybe you guys will do well there." But we had 3,000 kids outside of a 700 capacity squat, spilling into the streets, hanging off the ceilings.
That's amazing.
Every single where we went, and that was the most vivid moment for me.
What year was that? Is it like 89, 90 or something?
It must have been, it was late 80s. I'm not,
because Against the Grain came out in 1990. Yeah.
Jay is the historian of the band. I'm really terrible with dates, but that was late 80s. And so we were in a van.
Yeah.
But the difference is, we weren't touring and playing to 150 kids. Suddenly it felt like, something really different was happening.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And there's no internet back then. There's none of that stuff.
None of that.
Just showing up and the kids are there.
Yeah. And I knew how many records
crazy.
I was shipping over there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I just didn't know that translated to tickets,
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
So Epitaph's been really busy since the last time you were on the podcast. Obviously put out so many records. Falling in Reverse, Soul Glow, Menzingers, Quicksand, Distant Population. I thought that was a great record. Totally. Architects. The Lindas, Bad Sons, Joyce Manor, My Friends Drain. They dropped Living Proof in 2023, amazing record. Covered Descendants, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah. And
now they have a new one coming out. Drain Is Your Friend, coming out this couple weeks.
I love those guys.
I love them so much. I'm gonna go see them on Sunday. You're probably gonna be at the show on Sunday, but and I like the new single they dropped. It's called Who's Having Fun. Like, Sam's singing now, and I think he's probably got inspired by doing that Descendants cover.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And he can sing. It's like, it's awesome. I love that, like, bands now, back then, if you were a hardcore punk band, you had to sound like a certain way, and you really couldn't. If people started singing on a record, people were like, oh, you're a sellout, whatever. But I love that now the kids can be creative with their influences and try anything on records. Do you know what I'm saying? There's like no rules.
Definitely. I think it's a different world today. I think when we were kids, you were defined by the kind of music you listened to.
Yeah.
And it was very sort of strict. You know, there was like strict guidelines what you could sound like if you were in a particular scene. And
It's so weird.
Well, I think it's the difference between like records and the streaming world. Like with records, you have access to what's in a record store.
Yeah.
But with streaming, you've got access to the entire world of recorded music, right?
True.
And I think all music fans, not just hardcore kids, but I think everybody today is a little more eclectic. You know, there's hardcore fans who like pop and Brazilian jazz, and you know,
Yeah.
and then there's there's like indie kids who like Slayer, and they like the Geese. You know, so it's sort of like, I think eclecticism is considered cool now.
Yeah.
Where when we were kids, it was sort of like purity was cool.
We set our punk blinders on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was only punk and skateboarding, wherever.
But we did though. But we secretly liked the shit we liked.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Like
Guilty pleasures. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I didn't feel guilty about it, but I felt like I couldn't tell about it because I
Yeah.
wouldn't be accepted or something.
If we listen to U2 or Madonna or something like that, it's like, oh my God, like that's not.
Oh yeah, exactly. Or like like me and Greg back in the days, like we were in the Bad Religion back then. Were considered hardcore.
Yeah, for sure.
In like the very beginning, but we were like, we grew up on classic rock, so like, we used to listen to Neil Young and Jethro Tull, but like
It's awesome.
but we liked it, but we had to kind of stop admitting we liked it.
It wasn't like cool to like it. That's crazy.
It wasn't cool to like it.
So I guess you're right. I think it's because of the internet, social media, and streaming and everything. Why all the genres are kind of merged together in a sense where, you can listen to all types of things. It's like it's not like you're not punk if you like this or that. I don't know. And all the diverse bills we have now, even just with Coachella, there's like a Drain play Coachella. Just the diversity of the bands and the packages now. It's like,
yeah,
especially with Turnstile, they're bringing out all kinds of different bands that sound different.
I know my wife Gina, you know her very well. She came into the house the other day, and she said, "Hey, I was just listening to the new Turnstile record. Why don't you tell me they sound like the Police?"
Whoa, I never even thought about that.
I know that, but
wow.
But that dude's guitar tone sounds like Andy Summers.
Yeah,
and sometimes when he's singing, he sounds like Sting.
Yeah, I love that band. They're like I don't know. There's something about them so magical about Turnstile right now.
No, they're a great band, and they're bringing awareness of hardcore to the world, which is cool.
Yeah, I just saw them play. The biggest headlining show was like 13,000 people 2 weeks ago outside downtown. It was unreal. I've never been to like a headlining show like that before.
Yeah, that's cool.
And they're doing like their own thing, their own rules. Like they try to do no barricades. They do all kinds of cool things for the giving back to the scene. It's just, and I think all the bands underneath them, like Scow and Drain and Tsunami, just all these other bands are all kind of like, they're kind of like the umbrella, and everybody underneath them, all their friends that they're taking up, they're all doing great as well. I saw Tsunami last night, like sold out the Palladium last night with Scow.
That's awesome.
It was amazing. You know what I mean? Like I feel like hardcore and punk is bigger than ever.
Yeah, the Drain show at the Palladium was like one of the best shows I've ever been to. Just
yes.
The atmosphere, the way Sammy is with the crowd, it reminds me of you, actually.
Thank you, man.
It's so much positivity.
He's an incredible frontman, man.
Yeah. He is, but it's not, there's a lot of great frontmans or frontmen, but it's the positivity, right? Like is the way, like, because it's weird. Hardcore is super violent, super aggressive.
True.
And so it's not something you naturally think of as being like, love and positivity.
Inclusive. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it can
Good
be.
point.
You always did that,
Yes.
as a front man, and Sammy does that. And it's, once in a while you get that, and it's really cool.
Yeah, the thing about Drain is like they're so hard and they have so many mosh parts and like really crazy like breakdowns, but he's always smiling. He's like, come on, let's go. And people have like, for the listeners, people come to their shows, they bring blown up sharks. It's like all those like pool toys. People that dive and dressed as sharks. It's just like,
it's like a party atmosphere.
it is. They created their own world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like California surf culture meets positive hardcore meets party metal.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
They got a metal vibe too. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a metal
They
vibe.
got an Anthrax vibe to them a little bit too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the shredding leads, but yeah, just that's what I'm loving about the hardcore now. That it's very inclusive. There's all kinds of people there. Like for us growing up, there's a lot of bands like 7 Seconds singing about walk together, rock together. You know.
Okay, but contrast that with the old days. Like remember, like there was punk and hardcore, and I remember the first hardcore band to go metal were the Cro-Mags, right? And it was controversial. Do you remember that? Like the Cro-Mags were like, people were like, "Oh, I love this record." People were like, "Oh, that's not punk, that's metal."
It's true.
And it was controversial.
You're right.
It's not controversial for a hardcore band to have metal parts now or to have metal influence. It's normal, right?
Yeah.
But in the old days, like, wow, that's different. Is that acceptable? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then there'd be this discussions with the punk police and everything.
Agnostic Front did the same thing.
No, right.
And then we had DRI crossover and all that stuff was kind of metal. Leeway.
Yeah. Now it's not even worth mentioning. Now it's normal. So I like that. I don't think music should have rules.
I agree, and I love the fact that a lot of these new bands, they pay homage to the bands before them. Like they're wearing the T-shirts, they're talking about them in interviews, their inspirations. Like it's not like we started this shit. It's like, okay, this is where we got our inspiration from. I love that.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
It's really cool. It's like Mabo take out Drain, then Drain take out Mabo in America. It's just kind of like it's a crazy time, man. And Epitaph's still here, just still putting out records and still killing it and still being relevant to the scene. Like having Drain, one of the biggest hardcore bands on Epitaph, it's beautiful.
Yeah. No, look, I really love Drain, and I really love the hardcore scene and the sort of the renaissance is happening right now.
Yeah.
And I would love to sign another hardcore band. I tried really hard to sign Scowl, and they signed to Dead Oceans, and that's cool. I still love those kids, but yeah. I mean, if any of your listeners know a great up and coming young hardcore band, I'm definitely looking. I love the scene; it'll always be a part of me.
Yeah.
And Epitaph isn't strictly a punk and hardcore label anymore. We put out all kinds of music
now.
But it's in our DNA, and we always will support that scene and the scene of our legacy bands and hopefully the next scene that happens too,
Yeah, and you guys are in the same building, same location, everything, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many years you been there?
Well, I bought that building right after the Offspring record blew up.
Oh, yeah, that's
right. How I was able to do it. And
yeah.
I was in that little space. You might remember it on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Correct,
It was
yes.
it was like a little garage.
Yeah.
And we couldn't hold all the Offspring records that were they were like piled up to the ceiling. I needed a bigger place, and so I guess it was probably like late '94 when I moved in there. So so it's been like 31 years.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I have it written down, like, because if you look online, it says like the year that punk broke. It talks about 1991 with the whole grunge thing, which to me wasn't the year punk broke. For me, it was 94 with the Smash record, which I found out came out on my birthday, April 8th, which is crazy. But that record's like a game changer. And that same year, you dropped Rancid Let's Go, which is another amazing, great record. 10-Foot Pole, a bunch of records come out that year, but Smash is one that really just takes it to another level, man.
Yeah, didn't Out Come the Wolves come out in '94? Was
no,
that
it's 95?
All right, yeah. But it was they were within months of each other,
Yeah.
And I think Pennywise About Time was around then.
Yes,
and,
it was.
No Effects.
All Times 95. Yep.
No Effects. Punk and Drublic was around that time. Yeah. So
a lot coming out.
So that was like the time that Epitaph really 10x'd. Like we were already doing well. We had most of the good punk bands at that time. Back like in I don't know, like in '93, Bad Religion and Fugazi were the two biggest punk bands in the world.
It's true.
We were the ones who could sell out the Palladium. So the label was already doing well.
Yeah.
But then in '94, Smash came out by The Offspring, and Dookie came out by Green Day, not on Epitaph.
That's right.
And so that's the year that sort of punk rock for the first time came to the attention of like the average Joe.
Yeah.
Like everybody in the world started liking these songs. And I got a lot of heat, I've got a lot of criticism for selling out punk back then. Which,
But you were selling an independent label. It just sold a lot of records on your label.
Yeah, but I was sharing it with everybody. I was keeping our private cool thing and sharing it with sharing it with everybody in the world.
Yeah.
And so some of the people who wanted it to be a private club got mad at me.
It's interesting how that is, how that word sellout, and how people like, we love this band because we get to see them play in a basement, New Jersey, to 10 people. And now, you can't have them. It's our thing. And then the minute a band that you love becomes popular, wouldn't you want the band that you love to do something for the rest of their lives and only do that and make great music? And it's just so crazy how people it's like kind of a selfish thing. Like, it's only for me, and then I don't want the world to hear it. I get that. At some point, maybe I thought like that, but
yeah,
I always thought that
but you know what? I just think punks have always held each other to a different standard. Like, a punk rocker never gets mad at a rapper for getting rich. You know what I mean?
That's so true.
But they get mad at a punk rocker if he gets rich, right?
So true.
But it's like, hey,
it's a really good point.
Yeah, it's just it's an interesting fact.
But I thought that, like, whatever happened with the Offspring, the Smash record, it all trickled down to all the other bands on the label, which it helped all of us. It helped everybody on that label.
Not just other bands. It helped independent record stores. It helped the independent record distributors. It helped, it had a chain reaction literally around the world. There are companies in Australia that say, if it hadn't been for Epitaph staying independent after Smash, that our company wouldn't exist. Because that was the thing that put them on the map too.
Yeah. Did a lot of labels come, like vultures, like trying to buy Epitaph right when that happened?
Yeah, of course.
Major labels, and whatever, just everybody swooping around.
Yeah, and it was really scary. And a lot of people at the same time, I was being called, hey, sell out for selling out the scene. There's all this gossip talking about how I'm going to sell the company, and
I remember that.
And I was offered $50 million for half the company.
Wow.
At that time, and I didn't sell the company.
Yeah.
But I never get any credit for that.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stood your ground the whole time and just always had that,
Yeah. No, I think I'm the only guy who never sold the company.
Damn. I love when you made those Epitaph sellout shirts. We all wore those so proudly. That was so amazing, man.
Yeah.
It's so such a crazy time, and then obviously after that, Out Come the Wolves comes out, and that's a game changer as well, man.
Yeah.
Pennywise About Time. And then what always comes up in this podcast is the punkorama and how important they were to people, and how so many people found out about bands because of the punkoramas.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, for the historians out there, the very first punk comp I put out was called "More Songs About Anger, Fear, Sex, and Death."
Really, I didn't know that.
It was only one volume. I put it out,
okay,
and it sold pretty well, but it was a normal price CD. And then I had the idea, you know what? It's great when people buy these comps of Epitaph bands, because then they buy it because they know a few of the bands, and they've discovered the other ones.
Totally.
Like, what is the cheapest that we can sell these for, so that we don't lose money,
but
we just get them out there in the world so that our other bands can get discovered. And so we started Punkorama, and I thought, okay, well, what should we call it? Let's just call it something with the word punk in it, so people know what it is, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, Punkorama we came up with, and then we sold it for $5.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
And stores loved it, and kids loved it, and so many people come up to me that to this day and say, like, those early Punkoramas was how I discovered the kind of music I like, because I hadn't heard of that before.
Yeah.
And I bought one of those. It was only $5, and it blew my mind that these groups exist and the songs were good. And, so yeah, that was
so important, man, for so many people.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, Jay Bentley and I were at Brian Baker's book reading up here at the Book Soup. He just dropped a book.
I saw that.
And he reminded me of something else that I had forgotten this totally, but it's something similar to the Punkorama idea. But I guess when Bad Religion were first starting out, right, we're playing punk shows, we're playing warehouse parties and whatever we could get.
Yeah.
It's hard to, and we're still in high school. And Golden Voice was just starting. They were a promoter.
Damn.
Right? And, for those who don't know, Golden Voice is, our friend Paul Tollett and Gary Tovar was the founder back then. Paul worked for him. But they were the early LA punk promoters who now are the, founder. Now they have Coachella. But
Yeah, they used to book a place called the Barn in Riverside back in the day too.
yeah, but they used to book all the punk shows.
Yeah.
And Jay reminded me that I came to the band and I said, hey, let's tell Golden Voice if there's any national or international touring bands that Bad Religion will open for free. And the band said, why should we do that? And I said, because then we'll get to play in front of a lot of people, and then we'll get popular, and then we can start getting our own shows. So anyway, I totally forgot I did that.
Wow.
But so it's always that idea is you the good things happen as a side effect of doing other things, right?
For sure.
And so
it's so true.
Yeah.
It all helps each other out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You help others, and then it ends up helping yourself.
For sure. And that's what I see now with like the new community of all the bands, all the different diverse packages, and the bands looking out for each other. It's the same mentality. You know what I mean? It's awesome.
It is.
It's like a really beautiful community.
Yeah, and I try to do that at Epitaph. So like I don't, in the beginning it was only punk, right?
Yeah.
But and then it was both forms of music, punk and hardcore. No, just kidding. But whatever it is I'm signing today, I'm thinking of it like a scene. Like I don't want to only sign one band.
For sure.
Let's try to let's invest in a scene. If there's what are the other bands we can get in here so these guys can support each other and have a connection.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, how many years Epitaph's been here and how it's still relevant and how just how many people work there now?
I think it's about 65 people.
65 people?
Yeah.
What was the most working there at one point when all that stuff was happening back then, probably?
The most was 7,000 people. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's totally.
Like, what?
Yeah, back when we were Microsoft and we.
Jeez, dude, no.
No.
Probably a couple hundred, maybe.
No.
Really?
No, I think it might have, it might have been as high as like, well, when I say 65 people, it's about 45 people in the U.S. that report to the L.A. office.
Okay.
And there's, around 20, 25 people internationally. And we have people in Amsterdam, Australia, Melbourne, Toronto, Tokyo. So we've got a guy in France. We've got a couple of people in Spain. So
that's cool.
But they all report. All the European people report to the Amsterdam office.
Yeah.
I would say that maybe in the old days at its peak, maybe it was double. Maybe it was 100 or something like that.
Did you ever get to a point where you kind of burnt on the whole music industry stuff? You just didn't want to do it anymore, or no?
Never.
Wow, that's awesome.
Not even close. I mean, there's nothing to get burnt out on. So it would be like getting burnt out on skateboarding or something.
That's
like
true.
it's like I'm just doing what
no, you still love it. You're
I'm
still
just
passionate
doing what.
about it.
I'm just still going where the fun is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to say about you and the label and your friendships and relationships you made with the bands. Like, if we talk about the Rancid, the whole Out Come the Wolves and the whole era, like everybody was trying to sign them, and they had all these people. Even one guy dyed his hair, I remember, just really wanting them, and they stayed with you. This is like a family and a loyalty. It's beautiful.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I mean,
it was a crazy time.
Yeah, Rancid are family. Like I just Lars's son Wolfgang is 16 now. And
I met at your house. Yeah.
This summer he had an internship at Epitaph, and he lived at my house for the summer internship.
So cool.
So, yeah, and
That's amazing.
Tim and I and a couple of friends, still like we go to the movies like a couple times a month.
Yeah.
So
it's awesome, man. Yeah, it's family.
It is family.
But that was a beautiful time and a crazy time, and it was just to see them stay with you and just I don't know, just says a lot about you and your character. You know what I mean? The relationships you built over there.
Thanks, bro.
Even for us when we, we signed, we did Thick in the Water 1997, and me and my wife stayed at your house, and then then we went on, did the tours, and then ended up producing FTTW in 1999. That was a beautiful time too, man.
That was fun. I remember living in New York, making the
so
record.
cold, dude.
What was that studio called? Coyote?
Yeah, in Dumbo, Brooklyn. Yeah.
Is it still?
I don't know if it's there, man.
Because
we picked that because you did some Life Won't Wait there or something like that.
That could maybe Rancid did.
Yeah.
Do you remember that thing I brought out there? I used to call it the Tower of Power. My rack.
Yeah.
It was like as big as a refrigerator.
What was that? And you still have it?
No. I mean, I have a lot of the stuff that was in it,
Yeah.
but it's all taken apart now. That was like that was all the stuff I used when I produce.
Yeah.
Like compressors,
Okay.
limiters, microphone preamplifiers, um, effects, right? And I didn't know what they'd have in the studio.
Yeah.
So I sent that thing out there air freight, and for the people listening, I mean, like it was
Big,
literally as
yeah.
big as a refrigerator, and it's on wheels, and it had and it has a snake that comes out of it, which is like a cable, like a multi
Yeah.
cable, and a patch bay that came out of it, so I could jack into the Coyote's patch bay.
Tower of Power.
Yeah, I used to call it that, and it had stickers.
And you
all
used
over
it all the time, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I used it at West Beach.
Okay. Yeah.
But I put it all in a rack so I could bring it out to Brooklyn and record and produce H2O.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah.
What's the last record you produced?
So I just produced Joyce Manor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Great band.
Yeah. Their new record is called I Used to Go to This Bar, and they've dropped 2 songs so far.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I don't produce a lot.
Yeah.
Before that, the last record I did was The Last Rancid.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Where's Joyce Manor from? Are they from out here?
They're from Torrance.
Okay. Yes,
and
I thought.
I think they live in Long Beach now, and actually one of them lives, I think, in Pasadena. But they're from Torrance.
Do you have a special studio used in Los Angeles now? Or just wherever?
No, there's some rooms I like.
Yeah.
I really like Sunset Sound.
Oh, yeah, it's a good spot.
But I tracked all of the Joyce Manor record at this place called Dave's Room.
Okay.
And it's owned by this guy named Fig. His nickname is Paul Figueroa, and he's an old school dude from Sound City, where I used to do a lot of our records.
Nice.
But I love that place, and it's got a great sound. It's very old school, and it felt comfortable. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool. So you produce, you're into still producing just here and there whenever it's like not a
Yeah, it depends. It
the
depends.
band. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends what the project is. Like if it's if I can do it and I love the music, then then it's fun. But I can only do like a record every couple of years because I've got I've got a day job.
No good. Yeah. How many days a week you're at Epitaph?
5 days a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but when I say at Epitaph, we're ever since the pandemic, we are hybrid work style.
Ah.
So it's 2 days optional, 2 days in office, 1 day mandatory remote. So
Okay.
so I'm usually over there in Silver Lake at the office 2 days a week,
Okay.
and usually working from home 3 days a week. But I'm always working. I'm not a workaholic anymore. I used to be. But,
Yeah.
I probably work 35 hours a week.
Mm-hmm. Has obviously you've seen a lot change with all the streaming stuff and all that stuff. But also I know that vinyl's still very important for people.
Yeah, people love vinyl. I think vinyl's here to stay.
Yeah.
It's a small part of the business, but a sentimental part of it for sure.
Do you have a place that you press vinyl? Do you own a vinyl spot or no?
I don't.
Okay. I thought you did for a second. I don't know why.
Well, my former general manager Dave Hansen owns owns a place. He started a place called Independent Record Pressing. It's IRP,
Okay.
and we use them. But we probably have 8 different vendors for vinyl around the world, and that way, when there's a huge release and it's hard to get records pressed, we can spread it out and make sure we hit our street dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then nobody really buys CDs. Aren't coming back anytime soon. Probably not, right?
I don't think they're coming back, but they're not dead
Gone.
yet. They're not. Yeah, they're not gone.
People do cassettes too. I think too sometimes.
So that's different. Yeah. So CDs, there's still a certain kind of customer for it for certain kind of music, like metal.
Okay.
Metal fans like CDs.
They do. It's
yeah.
crazy.
Cassettes are more like a hipster vibe, like a collector thing, and
Okay.
like small runs.
Mhm.
And so we don't really make cassettes, but we license to a great guy in New York called Tapehead City.
Oh yeah, I might have
And-
heard that too.
Yeah, and he makes some of our cassettes, and he does a great job. Vinyl is probably something like 10% of what we do, of our
Okay.
sales. Yeah.
Yeah, and the streaming stuff is just like it's a whole different. world, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Are you a fan of streams?
I mean, I don't really. I listen. I stick with Apple Music. I never even had a Spotify account. I just listen to stream stuff. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we do, right? That's how I listen to my music. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think Spotify has a PR problem.
Okay.
But I mean, Spotify has been the best thing I've seen happen for artists and labels, indie labels, in my lifetime. And
Okay.
as you know, I've seen a lot.
Yes.
But you know, I mean, there's more kids making $50,000 a year out of their bedroom just by putting songs on Spotify through DistroKid. Then
Wow.
I mean, that simply didn't exist. You
No, for
remember what it
sure.
was like before? I mean,
Sure.
you couldn't. There were major labels and there were indie labels. Indie labels couldn't get the records into stores very easily.
True.
The major labels only signed mostly mainstream music, and
Mhm.
they only put out a few releases a year, right?
Yeah.
And so, there was a big bottleneck. Like
Mhm.
you couldn't. Everything was kind of frozen.
Yeah.
And Spotify opened it up, man. And but they do have a PR problem, and I feel bad about that. Apple, on the other hand, I love Apple Music. When Apple first came out, though, right, that
Mhm.
didn't help the music business.
No,
Remember
it
that?
didn't.
Like
Yeah,
that was
it
I
didn't.
started putting record stores out of business,
Yeah,
and then
that's true.
and then remember the MP3s on Apple Music were they were protected, so you couldn't share them. Do you remember that
I
one?
don't, but I remember
Okay.
that. I remember buying those a
Yeah.
bunch, dude. I remember that.
Yeah, that was the whole thing where, and then,
Just-
so, look at streams are, you can get streams are free for everyone to listen to, and artists get paid. And I'll say
They
one,
get paid, yeah.
I'll say one other thing. Many people think that, Spotify in particular, but also other streaming services don't pay artists fairly. That's not true. What's happening is Spotify gives 70% of their revenue to rights holders, right? So if a dollar comes in, Spotify pays out 70 cents to whoever owns the rights. The problem is that sometimes there's a label between the artist and Spotify,
Yes.
and that label is paying the artist 20%. So
Gotcha.
Spotify's taking all the heat, but and by the way, Epitaph has never done this. Epitaph has always paid the artist 50% on streams, period. We've always been an artist-friendly label.
Thank you.
From day one. You're welcome.
Yes.
I mean, I'm an artist too, so
No, I know.
yeah. But unfortunately, music fans hold their own to a higher standard, like we were talking about before. So like people will get pissed off at Spotify, not so much at Apple because I think they love their iPhones, but
That's true.
but Apple has MacBooks and iPhones and iPads to sell. Spotify doesn't have anything, so they have to take advertising.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the music's coming out of the pandemic? I feel like music's bigger than ever as far as live concerts and touring and all that stuff. Do you feel that too as a record label owner?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's bigger than ever for Epitaph. Epitaph's only been growing every year for the last 10 years.
Wow.
I don't know if the if the music industry as a whole is growing. It does.
Yeah.
It definitely feels like it to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's more bands touring.
So many. man.
There's more bands dropping music. I mean, when you have a favorite artist nowadays, many of them are like dropping a track every 2 months. So
it's true.
there's more good new music for me to personally keep track of. So,
Yeah.
So and it's fun and exciting, and the music is super. There's weird music, there's cool music, there's
so much, man.
There's so much.
Are you going to shows and stuff still and checking out bands?
I go to too many shows.
Yeah,
man.
me too.
God.
Yeah.
And I mean, I still love going to shows.
Yeah.
But it's not like the old days. Like, I do not want to see 4 bands anymore. Like, I want to go see one band. But I mean,
and before 10 o'clock, hopefully.
well, yeah,
It's hard.
I mean, that's not going to happen.
I
But,
know.
Yeah, I'm 63 years old now.
Wow.
And so like, it's hard for me to stand there in the fucking, stand there in the pit for 3 hours.
It is. Like last night, the band went on like at 10:30. I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
it's so late.
Or sometimes even if I'm like going to see a show at the like a stadium or something, if there's an opening band, I'll be like, oh, I don't want to see 2 bands.
Yeah, I just want to see the.
I just want to see the band I want to see.
Do Do you remember your first like concert you went to that wasn't a punk show, like a rock show?
Yeah, it changed my life. It was Elton John.
That's right. It was Elton John. That's right.
Yeah,
1975.
it was Elton John in 1975.
Wow,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. I think that was like. I think that's when rock and roll became my fucking religion. Honestly, it felt like church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who'd you go to that show with?
My mom.
So cool.
I was 13.
No, that's so cool. Your mom took you to Elton John.
Yeah.
It's like a life-changing concert.
I'll tell you the story of it though. It's funny because
Tell me.
so they knew that I was a 13-year-old boy. They knew I was obsessed with Elton John, right? I bought this record, Honky Chateau, and like I knew that he was coming to LA like 6 months ahead of time. So I asked my parents if they'd take me. They said yes, and like I marked it on my calendar, and I thought it was a done deal. So like every day I'm thinking about it, I'm fantasizing about it, I'm listening to the records, I can't wait. Like the week before the show, I said to my parents, like, I'm so excited. Elton John is, next week. And my mom had forgotten, right? But she knew it was going to break my heart, right? So like my parents weren't rich or anything. They're like middle-class parents, but they went and they bought 3 tickets from a scalper, right? Because it was completely sold out. And it was a Yellow Brick Road tour.
Oh,
and
my God.
So they bought 3 expensive tickets from a scalper, one for me, one for my mom, and one for my friend Steve Rawson. And they, the seats weren't even together. And my seat was against the wall at the highest row at the Forum. like
Can you by yourself up there?
By myself.
Oh my God.
It was the best time I've ever had in my whole life. Like I'm telling you, it just blew my head wide open. So,
that's crazy.
That's the story of it.
Yeah, there's no phones back then, really. So like you're just like up there by yourself.
No, and back then,
bunch of strangers around you.
Yeah, and back then was like the glam era. It was before punk.
Yeah,
but it was like David Bowie, Elton John, Gary Glitter, and the audience were all these like just complete freaky glam kids, like platforms, gold lame, glitter, like there was a topless girl with like E and J written on each boob. Like they're just and there's people smoking weed everywhere. And I was just like, I felt like I landed on Mars, like
that's incredible.
Yeah. It was.
How far was your mom from you in the seats? How far?
We were all like, we were all like 20 feet from each other or something, or 10 yards from each other. It wasn't that.
Yeah. So you can meet up with each other after, don't get lost and see each other. Yeah.
We just sat in the seats, but like it was
crazy,
it was like
dude.
Beatlemania at that time for him.
Yeah.
It was like one of those shows where the whole audience is singing every word so loud you can't really hear the singer. Like
incredible.
Yeah.
That's your first concert.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is the first record you bought Creedence Clearwater Revival? Is that true?
Well, yeah. The record was
Cosmos Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
was the first record.
That's a great record, by the way.
It's a great band, actually.
It is a great.
I appreciate it more later on in my life, but back then I was like, "What is?" You know what I mean? That was too cool. But yeah, great song.
You want to hear a story about that?
Yeah.
So one day, Greg Hetson, Bad Religion's guitar player and also Circle Jerks legendary
legend.
He texted me a picture from the John Fogerty biography, a picture of some of the text.
Okay.
And John Fogerty, it was the paragraph in his biography where he's talking about punk. And he's saying, he said 2 things. He said, one thing a lot of people don't remember about punk is that it was a reaction to disco, right? Like in the very early days, it was like disco sucks and punk was a reaction to it. And he said, I'm not really a big fan of a lot of punk, but there are some good songs. Like Sorrow from Bad Religion. That's a great song. And it's right there in his book.
That's incredible.
And, he's one of my favorite songwriters and singers of all time.
Dude.
And the fact that he said that in his book, it just
blew my mind. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like this full circle moment because his record was the first record I ever bought.
Wow.
So,
man.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet him?
No, I've never met him.
Wow.
But
that's so cool.
But I still listen to that music sometimes.
Yeah. Because before, I mean, like, how do you? I mean, well, we talked a little bit probably like 6 years ago. But after Elton John, like, how do you kind of, like, how do you go from Elton John and Creedence to like punk rock? Like, how?
Yeah. Well,
how do you hear like? You
Yeah.
grew up in Woodland Hills, right? Area?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at I didn't have an older brother or sister, and my parents were not musical,
Yeah.
or they didn't really. I think they had a Neil Diamond 8-track and a Beatles or Beatles 8-track or something. I just knew I liked music, so I grew up listening to 93 KHJ, which was the LA radio
Yeah.
AM station, and I just loved music. I always loved it more than anything, and Elton John was sort of my first crush in
That's
terms of
awesome.
music. And then I tended towards weirder stuff. Like I got into David Bowie and Alice Cooper, right? After that, and then I discovered progressive rock, or what they call prog, things like
Yeah.
like things like Yes and Pink Floyd and Emerson, Lake and Palmer and Genesis. And before punk, like those were the things that were considered weird or avant-garde.
Rush too. Rush.
Yeah, yes, they're in there, but
Yeah.
I didn't get into them.
Yeah.
But at the time, but anyway, so I was into prog, and I was just always into things that were sort of left of center, like we're not in the, and then when I was, I don't know, 16 or so, I went into a local licorice pizza record store, and the guy, I'm like, hey, what's cool, and the guy goes, you have to check out this Ramones record.
Damn.
And he played me the Ramones. I hadn't really heard of punk. I'd seen like coffee table books at like Pickwick bookstore with like punks from England, you know what I mean? But it wasn't really in my school yet. It wasn't in my area yet. I'd never seen a punk, except in like those books. So he played me that record, and that was it, And
Wow.
then they became my favorite band. And then it turned out, my friend Tom, who also liked punk with me, was friends with these two other guys, and he said, and he introduced me to the other two punks in school. There were literally
two punks.
There were only four of us. There was like
Wow.
Greg and Jay, and they were like in 9th grade. And and there was me and Tom, and we were in 10th grade. And Tom,
El Camino High.
Yeah, and Tom introduced us, and he said, "You guys should be a band. You're the only punks here.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and I said to Jay, do you play anything? He's like, well, I play guitar. And I said, well, I play guitar. We need a bass. And he said, I'll just play bass.
Damn.
So, and then Greg said, I can sing. And, so.
Was you already a singer before that or something, or no?
He sang, he sang in choir in school and in church. And he's from a musical family where they would sing together,
That's just it. Just us four would start a band. That's it. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. But we were literally the only punks in our school. And then like, about, 5 miles away was another high school called Taft. And there were like, 2 or 3 punks in that school. And so all the punks in the valley from each of the schools sort of knew each other.
Yeah.
And we'd get together at Denny's, or we'd go to shows, and that's kind of,
crazy.
Yeah.
Licorice Pizza, you mentioned, that's been around for a long time. That's like a legendary spot.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it exists anymore, but maybe they brought it back. I heard something about
because there was a
that.
movie that came out.
Yeah. They named the movie. In fact, that movie is my junior high experience. Like,
okay.
I don't know if it was a great movie, but it was really fun for me to watch because
That was cool.
I was like, yep, I had my hair like that. Yep. I had a comb in my back pocket like that. Like that's, that's how kids do weird shit.
Yeah.
It was like, it was the Valley, in that year, that was me in that movie, Licorice Pizza. So
crazy, man.
Yeah.
So now you kind of find your tribe in the 2 different schools and the punks, and you start the band, and then it's kind of it. What was your first punk show? You remember?
Yeah. I'm pretty. I might have. It might have been like a backyard party before that, but my first show that I am aware of, I think it was my first show, was the Ramones at the Palladium.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had just gotten my driver's license, so I was the only one of the friends that could drive.
Yeah.
And I drove, me and Greg and, a couple other friends. We went there.
That's crazy, man. For
Yeah.
sure, Ramones.
Yeah.
Also, you had your grandma We have a grandmother named Frida. She would kind of sing songs to you and hum around the house. And
Oh
sing.
man, Grandma Frida. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like my favorite person ever. She died when I was 16, but yeah, I think she gave me my love for music for
That's
sure.
nice.
She had a piano in her house. She's in New York, and we used to visit her. Yeah.
That's cool. Were you playing piano too or anything back then or no?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have lessons, but
Yeah.
I used to plunk around,
Yeah.
But I used to just, I'm sure it just sounded like dropping the silverware what I was doing, But I used to plunk around on the piano,
Yeah.
and then my grandma would say like, "Oh, that's such a good song.
So
That's so
sweet.
that's so good. You're so talented." And I'd plank, 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 But it gave me a lot of encouragement.
Yeah, that's so cool.
She was so loving,
And then you dropped out. You dropped out of school, right?
Yep, high school dropout.
What grade?
11th. In 11th grade, I took the GED, which is like the the diploma equivalent, and it was one of those things. My parents said, "Well, if you want to live at home, you've got to either be going to school or get a job."
Yeah.
So I dropped out of high school.
Why'd you drop out? Just hated it?
I mean, I was doing really terribly. I mean, I was
Okay.
I was ditching school all the time. I was getting in trouble. I had something like 26 tardies in a 1 month period, or
Wow.
not tardies, absences in a 1 month period. Like I was just, I was a maniac.
Just hanging out
in
with a
high
bunch of friends and just kind of like a wild
just, yeah,
child.
just
like,
running wild. Yeah, I was not a good kid. I caused my parents a lot of grief for sure.
like just getting in trouble and just with the law, or just out there in the streets, latchkey kid type thing.
Yeah. No, not with the law, but like with the school, like
Yeah.
getting smoking in school, getting kicked off the track team, flunking.
Oh, you're on track team?
Well, for until I got kicked out.
Did you play
Yeah.
sports or anything either or no?
Yeah, my first year of high school, I was on the track team, and then
That was it.
but I mouthed off to the coach, and what I used to do is we'd have to run around the school. So I'd run halfway, and then we'd nick into the bushes and smoke cigarettes. And then when everyone else was on the 10th lap, then we'd join back in with them.
Oh my God, dude. Were you like that your whole life kind of wild child? Just when you got into high school, you got more crazy when you found friends?
No, my parents tell me that I was a wild animal. Like I think they have different names for it now. Like I think I was ADHD,
Yeah.
or maybe on the spectrum, or both. I'm not sure. But whatever it was, I was just not. I had no impulse control.
Okay.
I was a smart kid, but I had no impulse control, so I couldn't really had no study habits. I didn't really focus that well, and so I wanted to do good in school, and I would do good on tests.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't I couldn't remember to bring my books to school. Like,
Yeah.
I was just a mess.
I mean, in
man.
11th grade, do you know what you want to do with your life? Are you thinking about music? Do you
No. I mean,
just want to get out of school? You don't care really?
I just wanted to, I'm not sure. I mean, I was doing really poorly in school, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was going to be one of these things, like if he doesn't shape up, he's going to have to go into, I forget what they used to call it, but there was like the remedial, like the,
Yeah.
the
bad kid school.
the
whatever
bad
it is.
kids special school.
Yeah.
So I took the GED and went to junior college,
Okay.
Pierce College out there in Winnetka. And I did, and then I took, the idea was, hey, here's the idea. I remember now. I told my parents, like, let me go to junior college. It'll be like a do-over, but this time I'll really try and I'll focus and I'll get better grades. So then I can go from junior college to a real college. My parents wanted me to go to college.
Yeah.
So I went to junior college and I took courses I was interested in. So I took like music theory, history of Western philosophy, blah, blah, blah. But I still wasn't like, I still, it just wasn't showing up. I was distracted. I was doing my music. I was getting high. I was doing all, throughout all this, I was getting high. I wasn't sober yet. And,
Okay.
And I've been,
Just like smoking weed and stuff?
no, doing.
Oh, heavier stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I mean, I was.
Wow.
it
Okay.
was-
So you were young doing that.
Yeah, I was young doing everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Was it the people you hung out with? Like, was it the crowd you with?
Yeah, I mean, it was like, don't forget, I was 16 in 1978. Like, drugs were like
True.
just part of the culture. I mean,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
everybody was, I mean, Quaaludes, mushrooms, LSD,
Wow.
weed, cocaine, and I was just there, and I was doing all of that, and
Damn.
and so, yeah, so that definitely made it harder to focus in school.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I started doing really bad at Pierce College, right? Even though I kind of liked my classes, but like I couldn't have any structure so that I could turn in assignments and. So then I went from there, and I said, I'm really artistic. Maybe what if I went to art school? So then I took some courses at Otis Parsons. I actually just took extension courses over the summer because of that rule. My parents said you got to be going to school to live in our house.
For sure.
And so I took some art classes. I really liked that. I got good at drawing and painting and color theory, which I think helped me later with helping with design and things
Sure.
for art.
Record layouts, all that stuff.
Yeah, layouts and marketing layouts. But I did that. And then...
were you working a job at all at that point or just going to school?
At that point I was just going to school, still living at home. But then that didn't work out either. So I moved out and I got a job, so.
Wow.
And
remember your first job?
Yeah, well, I've had jobs before. I mean, throughout all of this, I had crappy little jobs.
Okay.
I worked at a donuts shop. I worked delivering, I was a delivery boy for a pharmacy to convalescent hospitals.
Wow.
I worked at a liquor store in stocking the shelves. I did a lot of crappy little jobs.
Yeah.
Worked in a warehouse picking orders.
But now you can be on your own. You're like,
I got a job at Sounds Good Music Importers,
Nice.
which was a record distributor importer, and selling records for them. In fact, my department was what they called high energy gay disco singles, which
that's a genre.
No, it's like, yeah, they're like these 12-inch vinyl singles.
Wow.
Of like high energy disco, which all that, there was like this kind of specialty genres blowing up.
Wow.
In like around 85 and all the the gay nightclubs.
Okay, I got you.
And Tower Records and a lot of cool record stores had sections for that kind of music,
Wow.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know it existed. I didn't really know it existed either, but my boss was nice and he taught me about it.
It's like before techno.
Yeah, around the same time.
Okay,
around the same time techno was coming up,
Wow.
And so I did that, and I was also learning about the music business from my girlfriend, who was Susie Shaw at Bomp Records. That was like sort of the first indie label on the West Coast.
Are you in Bad Religion at that point?
Yeah, I've been in. Yeah,
you've been in for a couple of years at this point.
Yeah, Bad Religion was 82, so
That's
I'd
crazy,
already
bro.
been in. But that's how I got the job. Is I said, hey, I'm in Bad Religion, and I put out a record once, and blah blah blah. So yeah.
I put out a record once.
Well, no, because by that time at that time in my life, I had put out our 7-inch and our LP, How Could Hell Be Any Worse?
Yep.
And I had put out one EP for the Vandals, Peace Through Vandalism.
Oh, wow. It's a great record. Wow, that's right.
So I did all of that while I was still living at home and I was still in high school.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
The label started while you were at home.
Yeah. Yeah. Not my home. My birth home.
No, that's still crazy. I mean, it's doing the label that young and the band and everything, man. So obviously you're still working jobs because the band's playing, but you're not. Your Bad Religion was still in just the beginning stages of Bad Religion, yeah.
Yeah, we'd not done a national tour. We were like a local band.
Crazy.
Although, the thing is though that we were getting fan mail from Italy and Netherlands and Germany. Yeah, I mean, somehow, importing and exporting the records got around.
Yeah, so you weren't even. There was really no money to be made at that point in music. You were doing it for have fun with your friends. It wasn't even about having a career. It was just we made this music, made this record, right?
Yeah,
we're in this world like
it was never about money. It's still not about money for me today.
Yeah,
honestly, but back then, it was just.
You couldn't imagine being a band still to this day. Back then.
Back then, I was doing it so that I could maybe be popular, because I didn't I wanted to have friends.
What? Were you like a kind of quiet? Were you kind of like a kid like that?
I always had like one best friend or something, but I wasn't like a popular kid,
Yeah.
Yeah, but you get in a band, you want to have a crew,
Yeah. But you find your tribe too once you start finding all the local punk kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what it was like. I was sort of a kid that didn't fit in, and being in a band was really made me feel like I belonged somewhere.
Yeah. Were you skateboarding back then too?
So I stopped skateboarding when I got into music. Like I was skateboarding before that. I got into skateboarding, when I was probably 13, and I had a Bain board with Chicago trucks and Cadillac wheels, and then I can remember. I mean, I had clay wheels, so I remember when Cadillac wheels were invented, dude.
That's crazy.
And Cadillac wheels were like, oh man, this is like a cloud. I was so stoked
when they first came out.
Oh my God, urethane wheels. And then, and we had Val Surf out there in the valley
Which is still here.
I know. And so they were where you used to go for that stuff. And then the Cadillac wheels. And then I remember these things I think they're called Roadrunners came out. They're these cool wheels. And then Tracker trucks came out.
Love Tracker trucks, man.
And then Kryptonics.
Kryptonics.
Oh, dude, like I remember the first Kryptonics ever.
Really?
It was like the best thing. It's like, oh my God, it's so smooth.
You remember the Hobie skateboards?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Damn, so Valsurf's still around, and I have a bunch of friends who still will work there throughout their lives, and it's still like a legendary spot.
Yeah, and I used to skate this place called Happy Hollow. It was like at Knapp Park in Woodland Hills, and we had a thing called the Bonsai, which was at Lockhurst Elementary School. It was like this big asphalt curve that you'd in their parking lot.
That's cool.
But then like when I got into music, it was sort of like, all right, I've got to buy a guitar. I can't buy a skateboard. Like if I'm going to ask my mom to get me something, it's going to be this,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like I kind of stopped skating and I stared doing music.
But now you're on electric skateboards.
Now I'm back. Well, yeah. So
longboards.
Yes. So during COVID, there was never anything to do other than go with the kids. I mean,
yeah.
Other than me, go to the beach or go for a hike.
Yep.
So we used to go take the kids out to the bike path all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm on the bike path with my family. And I see these two dudes, and they have coffee, and they're on electric skateboards.
Yeah.
And they're just cruising down the bike path down on Will Rogers State Beach. And I'm on my bike behind them, and I'm like, I can do that. That's me during COVID, all day long. So I went up to them, I'm like, hey man, those things are cool. What are they? And he told me what it was. I went home and I bought one.
Are they the Evolves or something they're called?
Well, back then it was, yeah. I mean, the ones that I love to ride are Evolve electric skateboards.
Yeah.
But those guys were riding these things called boosted boards. Boosted went out of business.
Okay.
But anyway.
So it's just electric longboard kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a longboard, but it's electric, so you don't have to push. But it's like an infinite carve, though. Like you can just get out there.
You love it. I love your videos. You're skating all through your neighborhood and stuff. Like that was like,
dude,
you're obsessed.
I have to get you out there to do it.
I love this. Right? Yeah. You wear pads and stuff or no? Helmet?
I wear a helmet.
Okay.
I don't wear
pads. You got
pads.
a helmet at least. Yeah.
Yeah. I got to protect this
Dads
brain.
wear pads, man. You have to wear something.
Yeah. I have some hoodies that don't look like protective gear, but it's like a hoodie and it's made of Kevlar. So
really?
Yeah. So I'm riding fast. I can,
wow.
But I don't pad up or anything. I've only come off the board 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
No bad spills or nothing. No.
Oh yeah.
Bad one.
I have 1 bad one, 2 medium. Yeah. but it's just so fun. I can't stop. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Were you a good skater back then? That was back then it was before kick flips and all that. So when you skate, you were skating early stages of skateboarding back then, right?
Yeah. The big thing when I was a kid was vert and pools.
Okay.
Right. So I had a mini ramp.
You
and
did?
We had a little plywood ramp, what I mean? And used to, try to get vertical and do a 180 at the top of the ramp.
For sure.
I wasn't good, but
so fun though, man.
No, but it was fun. I used to do it every day, and when you're a kid, it's so fun. You can just fall all the time, and you're fine.
Doesn't even matter, man.
I know.
Fearless.
I came off my electric board a couple of years ago going 20 miles an hour, and I separated my shoulder.
What?
It's you're 63. You do not want to be slamming the asphalt.
Did you have surgery or anything or no?
No, my doctor said there's no surgery for that. It's going to get better. It's just going to take a long.
Because we're older now. Yeah, dude.
Well, it's just an angry joint. It was what was it? I forgot what he called it, but it's in my shoulder, So I got one shoulder's higher than the other now. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. It's crazy stepping back on the skateboard after all those years and just, now they're electric. It's crazy. And you were there for the first wheels and now they're electric.
I know that real skaters look down on them. I'm not going to even, I call it dad boarding. I don't get, it's just, I'm out there doing it and it's fun.
So basically it's you're doing hills and carving and just cruising down the street.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah, I cruise around. I live in the suburbs. You're here in Mid City, but
Yeah.
I'll go out and I'll do like a 10-mile loop, and I'm just, I'm carving. You can ride up hills without pushing.
Oh yeah.
So you can. So it's like snowboarding. Think of it as like
Okay. Yeah.
it's like a cross between snowboarding and skateboarding. It's like that cool. You get
So
that.
it's like the rollerblades for skaters. So like, oh, that's not like, like the art, like the rival of like, that's not real, that's not skating, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. But you
Yeah.
love it, makes you happy. It's fun.
Yeah, it's my hobby.
It's cool. You do it. I do it a lot still.
I do it at
Couple times a
sunrise
week?
and sunset. I do it 10 times a week. Dude, I'm skating about 3,000 miles a year.
You have a crew now at all? Or no, you solo
Yeah,
out there.
no, I have a buddy who lives. It's funny because he came up to me. I was skating along, and his name is Gil. I was skating along one night, and this guy skates up to me on a one wheel, which I don't consider to be a skateboard, right?
What's a one wheel?
Well, there's a couple. There's three kinds of things that are kind of popular now. There's electric skateboards, which I ride.
Yeah.
Then there's one wheels, which is like one big fat wheel with like a place for your feet on
So
either
kind of
side.
balancing, like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen that. Okay, yeah, yeah.
But you're sideways on it. But then there's the one called the EUC, or electric unicycle, where it's one big motorcycle wheel and you're straddling it. That's a different one. So,
Wow.
But anyway, it wasn't an EUC. But Gil came riding up to me on a one wheel. He's like, "Hey, I see you skating around here sometimes." I'm like, "Hey, bro, you should skate with me." He's like, "Are you Brett from Bad Religion?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." he's like, "I've got you in my playlist."
Oh, that's cool, man.
I'm like, "Cool, we should be friends and skate, but you have to get off that one wheel and get an evolved skateboard. Let's ride skateboards." And he's like, "Okay." So he got a skateboard.
That's amazing,
so
man.
we're like skating buddies now. Yeah.
Is he a dad too?
Huh?
Is he a dad also?
Yeah, he's a dad. He's got kids.
It's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. You find something fun to do. It's like kind of like
Yeah.
youth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you still feel young? You still feel good?
Yeah. It's
You look
weird.
great, man.
Oh, fuck off. I do
Great,
not.
dude.
Nah, I look like hell.
No,
But,
I feel like doing what you love this many years keeps you young.
yeah.
You're your own boss for many years, man. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, put it this way, like me and my buddy we're at the restaurant, we're looking at these other two guys, and I looked at them and I said, "Look at those two fucking guys. That's us in 10 years." And my friend said, "Dude, that's a mirror." That's what it's like. I feel younger than I am.
But you do feel good. You work out too, right? No?
Yeah, I work out 4 days
I
a
saw
week.
you. Jamie showed me a gym. It's
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been working out 4 days a week since I got clean and sober, which has been 27 years. So
Congrats, man.
yeah, but that's a big part of it,
Yeah.
And I don't do any cardio for you listeners out there. I don't care what.
You don't believe in cardio?
I don't believe in cardio. I just lift.
Just do weights?
Yeah, I mean,
That's cool, man.
My heart is the only muscle that's just working all the time. It works 24 hours a day already.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work the muscles that are just doing nothing.
That's true. So you're never like a runner? You never ran?
Fuck that. No,
Yeah.
I mean, I used to.
Because you did the track, back in
No.
the day, yeah.
Well, no, but I used to do the elliptical. I used to do hiking. I used to do
Yeah.
road biking. I was, at this point I gotta focus, right? I can't be like, I know you're a runner.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I need my recovery days in between my 4 workout days.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I could do some cardio. I do 1 hour of lifting 4 days a week. And
Nice.
and I walk and I skate and,
Yeah, you're very active, man.
yeah.
Is there? I mean, Bad Religion have so many records. I was doing the whole thing yesterday. It's just like, have you played on all the Bad Religion records?
Except for the Atlantic records.
Okay.
So I did not. I did
okay.
not play on the Gray Race, New America, or No Substance.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
But all the other ones.
yeah, but there's a lot of them. Yeah,
Is it hard to have like your favorite Bad Religion record?
it is. Yeah,
Or one you're most proud of? Or
yeah, it's hard. I don't know.
what made the best
Yeah.
memories of the song? I mean, I can imagine trying to put a set list together for Bad Religion with all the records that they have. It's
Yeah,
so many records. Dude.
yeah. I like the Process of Belief will always have a place in my heart because that's the record where I came back into the band
Yeah.
after leaving for a few years. Suffer is a very special record for me. And
Amazing
I think it's
record,
one of
man.
our best records. I also love Recipe for Hate. It has our biggest song, American Jesus.
Yes.
And it has Recipe for Hate on it. Stranger Than Fiction is important for me.
Great one too, man.
It's got some of our biggest songs and it's some of my favorite writing that I've done.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could pick a favorite amongst those, but those are some of my top. And a lot of people come up to me now and say they love uh,
A record that you might not like.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people love New Maps of Hell and Empire Strikes First, like those two, and they've gotten really popular. And those songs are really popular live. I don't know why. I love them, but they're not. They're not in my top. They're not. Those ones aren't in my top.
It's interesting how that works. It's something that you made that you might not like the most, and then might be somebody's like first intro to your band or their favorite album. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
Because once it's out there, it's not ours anymore.
Yeah. 100%.
But Against the Grain, I mean, Anesthesia is one of my favorite songs. Like the hardest breakdowns. Oh man, it's like one of the hardest Bad Religion breakdowns, man. I love that song, man.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of breakdowns. I want to try and write breakdowns for the next record. That was
really
one of my goals. Yeah,
well,
maybe you can help me write a breakdown. We'll do a co-write.
That's a great. I mean, I remember Bad Religion coming to New York all the time back then. The Roseland shows are incredible shows. We'd all go to those shows. Like, it's amazing. Bad Religion's still here and still killing it, man.
Yeah, I'm so proud of those guys. I mean, they're still such a great live band.
Yeah.
And Greg is my favorite punk singer of all time.
Okay.
And he still sings great, man. The guy, I mean, other than maybe Joey Ramone, but I mean, the guy never hit a bad note in his life. I mean, he's a machine. It's unbelievable. He's like a melody machine. You know?
Yeah. Does he probably his warm-ups and stuff like that on tour? Probably?
He doesn't do any vocal warm-ups.
What?
He's never done a vocal warm-up in his life.
What?
And
never lost his voice?
No, and Jay says to him, man, you should do vocal warm-ups. Nah, I don't do those.
Are you serious?
No,
man?
he just sings, yeah.
Just walks on stage, does his thing, no warm-up stuff. That's crazy,
yeah,
man.
I know.
Wow, I never really heard of that. He's like a professor, too, or something, right?
Yeah, well, he's a doctor. He's a doctor of science.
Yeah,
he has a PhD.
Yeah,
and he teaches. He might be a professor. I don't know if that's his
it's something from.
title.
Was he at Stanford too?
Cornell.
Yeah, because my dermatologist, his professor was Greg. It's totally small world, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, he teaches at Cornell, and he has a house out there in New York.
Amazing, man.
Not in Cornell, but out there. But the band as it is now. Is one of the best lineups I've ever heard. They've got, obviously Brian is a legendary guitar player,
man.
And he's so good. Jay's playing better than he's ever played and singing better than he's ever sang. And their new drummer, Jamie Miller, is just a great addition. And Mike Dimkich, who's replaced Hetson. So, I think the thing is that there's a lot of old fans that go to shows.
Yeah.
And they've introduced their kids to the band.
Yep.
And I think when young people go to see this, they're like, oh man, I'm afraid to see Bad Religion. I hope they're going to be good. I think it's sort of like when I was a kid and I went to see Elton John. You're afraid it won't be as good as the records. And then you get there and it's better.
It's perfect.
Because they can really do it. And then when you have that realization, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like I'm sharing a room with these dudes who made this fucking timeless music.
No, it's incredible. And also just seeing Greg's with Circle Jerks now. Circle Jerks are killing it. Keith Morris has turned 70 years old. Like, still an amazing front man.
Yeah, it makes me so sad that the Ramones are all dead, man.
It really does.
I see the Rolling Stones up there, and I love the Rolling Stones, but they're out there killing it.
I know.
And all the Ramones are dead. Like, what the fuck? It's supposed to be that way.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy, man.
Yeah.
Because Ramones are like our Rolling Stones, whatever.
Yeah, they're our generation,
Yeah. It's pretty. They inspired so many people. Just like that was sad when Joey never passed. It was really
so sad.
Damn.
Yeah.
For you, your whole life you've been balancing marriage and sobriety and family and all that. You've done a really good job with that, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I think balance is really, really important. A big part of it for me is meditation.
Okay.
I learned transcendental meditation when I was 14 years old in 1976.
Why back then? Why so young?
Well, like I said, I think I was like a wild kid.
Yeah.
Right. And I had behavioral problems. I would talk in class, get in trouble in class. I would, be mean to my sister, whatever it was.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the craziest thing, but I was in a bookstore and I saw this coffee table book about this new thing, transcendental meditation. The Beatles were doing it. It was this, it was that.
Wow.
I went up to my mom and I'm like, hey, can I learn how to do this? And it was a fad back then. It was pop. That's when it was first exploding.
On the scene. Yeah.
And in Woodland Hills where we live, there was a place where you could, a kid or an adult could take a course in it. It's a 1-week course.
It's cool.
And I did it, and I liked it, and I stuck with it my whole life. And
Your whole life. Wow, man.
Yeah. And I think it's really helped me,
You can just kind of like just do it anytime, anywhere you can do it. Do it in your car, do it anywhere, or it just doesn't matter?
You can once you get good at it.
Yeah.
But at first, you should have a quiet place to sit for 10 or 20 minutes. But yeah, after practice, after a lifetime of practice, you can do it on an airplane. I'm doing it right now. You wouldn't even notice.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. But
is that part of your daily rituals?
Oh yeah, it's more than it's just part of my life now.
Okay, so it's an everyday thing.
Oh yeah.
What's like another daily ritual you have?
I every day at sunrise I'm skating.
Yep.
And every day at sunset I'm skating. So
amazing, man.
I look at I say, hey Siri, what time is sunset tonight? And I can make sure 30 minutes before that I go out.
Do your kids do it with you too, or just you? No. Do they get into it all or no?
My 12-year-old sometimes skates with me.
Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes she'll take her bike out with me.
Okay.
But usually I have to twist her arm.
Yeah.
But sometimes.
You a coffee guy?
Yeah, I drink coffee. I wouldn't call that a ritual. I'll call it more of an addiction, but I'm not giving it up.
It's a good one to have. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I guess working out regularly.
Yeah.
Reading regularly.
Read a lot.
I read a lot. I'm always reading 3 books.
Wow, that's awesome.
At all times. Yeah.
I remember. Yes, I wish I better reader. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. That's the best thing you can do is read a lot.
What about like you sleep good at night? You're big.
I want more sleep. I'm not getting enough sleep, but part of that is because I want to skate at sunrise.
Okay.
And I could sleep in longer if I wanted to, but I want to skate at sunrise. It's just the way the sun looks when I'm out there doing that.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man.
And so, but at night after I get the kids to bed, like I want some time to myself before I go to sleep too. So it's hard. It's almost, I find it almost impossible to
get everything done.
To go to bed early enough. Like
okay.
I can do it, but I just want to have a couple hours.
Yeah, man.
Of just.
It's not enough time in the day.
Like personal time to just. Oh, I'll tell you my other hobby. I don't know if it's a ritual, but I play a lot of speed chess. Speed chess? Yeah. They call it blitz.
Okay. What is that for the listeners? It's playing chess, but it's
playing chess, but there's a 3-minute per time limit per person.
Okay.
Per side. So.
Wow.
So it's really rapid.
And you play that with people, or you do that play it on?
I play it on chess.com with people.
Okay.
People around the world.
Wow.
And then my one other hobby, which I'll show you some stuff if you want, is tying knots. So I
tying knots.
Yeah, like Boy
Scout knot type.
Yeah,
thing?
Boy Scout knots, like camping.
Wow.
Camping knots.
That's so interesting. I like that.
The midshipman's hitch, the bowline. How
long have you been doing that for?
Just since January. So that was my New Year's resolution, was to learn some knots, right?
Okay.
And so I started doing it, and I got totally obsessed with it.
What made you think about doing knots? You saw something about it somewhere?
No, me and my family like camping.
That's cool. Yeah,
and I've always been. We've always gone backpacking. Backpacking is part of my history and what I do. And we take the family camping, and like if you know useful knots, it really helps, camping, throwing up a tarp, throwing up a tent, throwing up a ridge line, bundling up a bundle of wood, whatever. And I thought, oh, that'll be, so, okay, here's a ritual I have. I try to think of New Year's resolutions that will be fun. Not hard, fun, right?
Do you stick by them all the time through the whole year?
Yeah, but you have to keep in mind what they're like. So this year, my New Year's resolution was to learn knots, right?
Yep.
So I went on YouTube, and I learned like my first knot, and I was like, damn, that was fun, right? So that just got addicted to it. So it was super easy. So now I probably know 10 really essential knots by heart now, and I've been throwing up tarps and doing all kinds of crazy shit at home.
That's incredible, man.
But some of the New Year's resolutions are easy and fun, but stupid. Like one of them is that I press buttons with my thumb, not my index finger. That was the New Year's resolution once. So for example, if I want to push this button here, I go.
And so why are you doing? Just to train your thumb to do more things, or?
No. So because it looks cool. Like look at it. Look at the difference. Watch. So a guy goes up to a crosswalk, right?
Okay.
And he's going to press, the don't walk button. So he could either go like that,
Yeah.
or he could go.
It does kind of look cool.
It kind of looks cool. And when I
what's in your mind? What makes you think about that?
I'll tell you what made me think about it. So some guy comes up to me and he goes, you know that people in Europe press the elevator button with their thumb, but people in the U.S. press it with their index finger.
Okay.
And I said, really? So, I go to Europe a lot because my office is in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So I went there and I noticed that, if someone goes up to the elevator in Europe, they press it with their thumb, right?
I haven't thought about this.
I've never done that in my life. So trying to think of New Year's resolutions, I thought, what would be really easy? Right? Because if you make yourself something easy, then you do it and you don't have to feel bad about yourself.
I'm going to try that actually.
Okay. So
that's a good one.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's with me. Like another New Year's resolution was one year was be more judgmental.
What?
Yeah.
About everything?
No, just of people.
Okay, people. Okay.
No, it's bad, I know. But
How'd that one work
think about
out?
it, your whole life you're trying to be like, don't be judgmental, don't be judgmental. So not that I didn't give myself license to be kind, but at least just to myself, let myself be judgmental for a year.
Don't say anything out loud, but just keep
don't say it out loud. Don't be a dick, But
can this be to your family too, or anybody?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Be more judgmental.
Did that work out for a whole year?
Super easy. Super easy to do.
These are crazy. These are the most original ones I've ever heard. The finger
yeah.
point and the thumb. I'm thinking about that.
Yeah.
But how often are you doing that? Okay, you're not really going to elevators all the time.
Now it's a habit. Like now,
Okay.
now if you go up to a crosswalk with me, you're going to see me go like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try the everyday life when you have to like touch something like that. Yeah, it's interesting.
If you do it for 3 weeks, it's a habit.
Wow,
Yeah.
those are the most interesting New Year's resolutions ever.
Like you make your resolution to lose 5 pounds, it's just never going to happen.
Yeah. If there's something you really can't live, you can't really do it, right? The
It's
first
hard.
couple months.
It's too hard.
What's like the latest obsession you have right now?
Well, I mean,
Maybe doing all that stuff.
no, that's the stuff I told you about already. Yeah,
That could be the latest. Yeah, that's it.
It's tying knots. I'll tell you my 4 or 5 favorite knots.
Tell me.
I like the double fisherman's bend, the taut line hitch, the bow line, the alpine butterfly, the trucker's hitch, and the what's that one?
Those are all cool names too.
Yeah.
Could be like band names. Those are crazy names.
Yeah.
Are you a good handyman too? You build stuff. You like?
I'm not really that handy, but I'm like I don't build stuff with wood. I don't work on cars, but like I'm really good with hooking up a stereo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I could set up a studio.
Yeah.
And I can wrench on an electric skateboard.
Yeah.
I can troubleshoot your computer. So like I'm handy in certain ways.
Yeah, but you're not building stuff or fixing things in the house.
No, not really. But
and the car's not either good either on car stuff.
No,
I never have any of them either.
Yeah, not a car guy.
You can change the tire though.
Yeah, I can change. I like figuring things out, and I like
You like learning. I love that. You like still
Yeah.
trying to learn things in your.
Yeah, I like following instructions. If it's like an instruction manual to make something, that's fun.
What about social media? You on social media a lot?
Not a lot. I probably more than I should be. But what I've done with my social media is, I've carefully curated it. So I'm not a fan of anything that's clickbait, right?
Gotcha.
So if there's a meme that's like scary or alarming or designed to create outrage, then I've methodically clicked "Don't show me this, not interested." So now, so now my social media feed has philosophy, knot tying, bushcraft, electric skateboards, rock music.
What's bushcraft?
Bushcraft is like tying knots and,
okay.
making shelters or whatever. Chess openings.
Yeah, chess. Yeah.
It's all the stuff I'm interested in. So I probably shouldn't look at it, but it's not like a doom scroll. If you were to look at my feed right now, I can show you right now. It's fairly healthy stuff.
Which is great. Here's
why, and this is, I'm going to say this for your listeners, if anyone can hear this. Almost everybody thinks it's important to take control of their nutritional diet, right? The food you put in your body is what makes you either feel good or bad. And even if you're not doing that, even if you're just eating pizza and ding dongs, you realize you should be doing it, right?
Correct.
but people don't think about their information diet, right? And the truth is, who you are is not your body. Your body will inform how you feel. True.
True.
Who you are is your mind, and your mind is fed by your information diet. And so you need to edit your information diet so that you have a healthy mind. And if all you're getting all day long is outrage and fear,
it's a great point,
then
man.
you're not gonna be a healthy you. You're not gonna be the best you can be.
I agree, man.
And so I'm very strict about editing my information diet, which is not to say that I put my head in the sand. I read the news, but I read long form news, and I read sources that I trust, and I try to get a balanced view on everything. And yes, the world is objectively going to shit right now.
Yes.
But I'm not in a constant state of panic because I edit my information diet.
No, I love that. You seem like a guy who still read the newspapers too, probably.
I do.
That's cool.
I read a couple different newspapers, but
awesome.
I don't just read the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, right, and the Guardian. I read the Japan Times.
Wow.
And the India Times, right? Like all that stuff's on there for free, and you can get out of the bubble of U.S. insanity.
Yes.
And see what people are, what kind of stories are happening around the world, and how and their view on the insanity that's taking place here, and you get a little perspective. Kind of like we're kids. The first time we toured Europe, right? We were kids. Yeah. In the U.S., it's just very homogenous, right? You travel across the whole U.S. and you get the same Subway sandwich everywhere you go. You travel to Europe and you travel the same amount of time and you've seen 8 different cultures, right?
Yeah.
So the world isn't the U.S. and social media seems to be just deranging the population of the U.S. right now.
I agree, man. I think it magnifies so many things. I think it creates a bigger division. Ever since even 2020, it's been like the most. There's such a negative cesspool on there, man. I heard TikTok, which I'm not on, has a lot of good information about what's happening. I'm not on TikTok, but I heard that's like a more positive thing. I'm not sure if that's true. Are you on TikTok?
I'm on everything.
Oh, okay.
But it's not true. It's all these platforms are owned by corporations who are trying to manipulate your behavior to click more. All they care about is how addicted you are to their social media. They don't give 2 fucks about about giving you objective news or your mental well-being. It's dangerous stuff.
It's going to be scary to see the effects like on our kids that are on social media, like growing up on that, because we grew up outside in the street, skateboarding, doing all this other things. But these kids all they know is like the internet. You know what I mean? Like, and just how it's going to affect kids later on. It's like affecting kids now with bullying and everything like that,
Well, that's right. And
peer pressure.
And the internet isn't the real, there's the world and then there's the internet. And, one of the things that helps me with that is meditation, because meditation, the whole point of it is just to quiet your thoughts and to be,
Are you strict with your kids on social media?
I'm not as strict as some parents, but much stricter than others.
Yeah.
My kids have about 35 minutes on social media. Well, my 16-year-old gets 35 minutes on social media a day.
Wow, that's great.
But then, she requests another 15, so we give it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my 12-year-old has an iPhone but doesn't have social media accounts yet. So, yeah.
It's crazy. It's hard because there's a lot of kids that like kind of grew up on iPads and this stuff like that. Young kids learning how to work, and I see young kids just like out in public with their parents, like super young, like doing all this stuff. I'm like, it's crazy, man.
No, it's hard, but it's hard to be judgmental too, because there's like single working parents out there.
Totally.
And they can't, if they can't also tell their kid, get off your iPad, if they're not going to also say, let's me and you go work in the garden.
True.
So
that's a great point.
It's I think parenting is tough today too, because social media presents a really difficult challenge, but also it's tough for parents to make a living today.
Yeah.
It's harder than it was when we were kids.
For sure. Are you an optimist or pessimist?
Optimist.
Always been like that, huh?
Well, yes, but let me clarify. I'm a cynic, but I'm an optimist. Okay. I wouldn't have named my band Bad Religion or my company Epitaph. I was as positive as you. Right?
True.
I'm not Mr. Positivity, but
I hear you.
But I'm an optimist. I think I think
That's
being edgy negative is fun.
Edgy negative. I like that.
But I think existence is a fucking miracle, and once you realize that everything around you becomes a fucking miracle, you know.
Yeah.
So the other thing I'll say too, to you and your listeners, is positivity. Being an optimist is important because in life, optimists actually do better.
I like that.
It's true.
It does make sense, though. Yeah.
They do better. You know, if what you want for yourself is success, try to flip that.
Yeah, I love that. Were you? Whether it's obviously times in your life when you had some dark times where you probably weren't.
I've always had dark times. I mean, not always. I don't right now, but I mean, I've gone through dark times. A lot,
for sure.
But being an optimist is what that means is, you know, it doesn't mean that you're in denial. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean you're. You know, I think it's actually an optimistic viewpoint to say, man, I'm in a dark time right now.
For sure.
But it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, the pessimist is what say, this isn't a dark time. This is just how it is.
Yeah.
Do you know
forever.
what I mean?
This is, yeah.
That's that, you know, so yeah, I've always felt like, you know, I've always felt like the good side of the force is going to win, even though the dark side is easier.
Yeah. I love that. Do you have any regrets in your life?
It's easy to say no.
Yeah.
But hold on. I'll say I regret that I didn't sign Jane's Addiction when I had a chance.
What? That was an option?
Yeah. I regret.
Wow.
I regret that I didn't sign Blink when Fletcher told me to.
Oh, these are two. That's crazy.
Yeah. I regret that I didn't sign AFI when Lars told me to. So.
Oh, these are crazy. Are you serious? These three things happen?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not serious
Blink,
about
I know. Blink, James, and AFI.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not serious about the regrets. I don't have regrets. But
those are crazy moments.
Those are records that I probably could have signed if I had done it early. I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, Fletcher was really like waving the flag for Blink back then, because I remember he supposedly got them on the first Warped Tour. Telling Lyman, take these guys. I really believed in them.
He told me to sign them, and I didn't.
Wow.
And then but then I tried very hard to sign them later.
Did you?
But I was too late then.
Really? After a couple records or something, or just?
Yeah. After like a couple of years went by, and then I'm like, fuck, I want to sign them. And Fletcher's like, I told you so, and then it was too late. But
dang.
Yeah.
What about therapy? You believe in therapy? You been in therapy?
Yes. I don't know if I believe in it, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I
still do it?
Yeah. I'll tell you why I do it. It mostly helps me know how to talk to my wife.
No, I love that.
I basically
I love that.
My therapist is a really wise woman, and she coaches me on how to have a relationship with my wife. Yeah.
What's working?
It's awesome. No, we do have a good relationship, but some of the stuff she tells me, she's like, well, you know, I can see I can see her point of view. You know, maybe try saying this next time. And I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
I would have never thought of that. Thank you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's just, it's helpful.
Are you in your head a lot too? And you're like around, when you're home, you try to shut off everything just to be there and just be present. Mentally,
I very much try to stay present, but I truly believe.
You have a lot going on.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I believe the most important thing you can do for yourself in life is try to set up your life so you're in a good position. What I mean by that is everyone looks smart when they're in a good position, and even the smartest person looks like a fool when they're in a bad position, right?
True.
So what does a good position mean for you in your life? Take care of your relationship, take care of your body, take care of your mind, help other people succeed, right? And so, and it's all, it's all about just sort of like, if you're in a good position, you don't have to be the smartest guy in the room, because the worst thing that's going to happen, you're still going to be all right.
Yeah. I love that, man. Good words of wisdom from Mr. Brett right now. You have a top 5, like, favorite bands or punk bands?
Yeah, probably. Ramones.
Would Bad Religion be in there?
Are you allowed to put your own band?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I let me not put them in any order.
Okay.
But Ramones, Clash, Rancid,
Bad Religion.
I'll put Bad Religion in there. Adolescence, Black Flag.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adolescents don't get enough props and named a lot in the top 5.
Yeah. Adolescence. I mean, the Adolescence Blue album
Yeah.
That's it.
Were you ever like a
mic drop.
hip hop fan?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Do you listen to hip hop currently, or
Um,
what are your kids listening to? Are they turning you on to new music?
A little bit. Yeah. My daughter's listening to like high school stuff like Blade and The Help. And, it's like a lot of
I haven't heard that.
it's just like indie sleaze and hyper pop. And it's a super noisy, aggressive, it reminds me of like an updated version of Crystal Castles, and all high school kids are doing it. And it's crazy shows. There's like pits and the kids are just going nuts.
Indie sleaze. That's like I never heard that before. Yeah. It's interesting, yeah. Did you go to those shows with her, or go check out stuff, or?
No, I drop her at the show.
Yeah.
She doesn't want me at the show. Man, she'd be so embarrassed to have me there. Yeah.
But is she into like Are they into like bad relations?
No, but yeah, my daughter. Yeah. No, she loves punk.
That's cool.
She loves the Clash. Clash is probably her favorite punk band. She loves the Ramones. She listens to a lot of punk actually.
Yeah. And then probably like a Billie Eilish and all the other world. That
not
really.
No, my 16-year-old doesn't listen to much pop. But my 12-year-old went through her Billie Eilish phase.
Yeah.
And she absolutely adored Billie Eilish, and she still loves her, but she's starting to listen to other different pop artists now.
Yeah.
But my 12-year-old is mostly pop.
Yeah.
Which I like listening to that too. I like listening to all the production. It's
crazy. It's crazy. Like Billie and her brother just used to stuff in their bedroom. How that whole thing took off. Like just
they're
making music, man. It's super DIY.
Super DIY, and they're so talented. She's such an amazing singer and writer.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What was like one of your last real jobs you had, where like you had a boss and you had to like clock in?
That was Sounds Good Music Imports. That was my last one.
And what year would that be?
That was like 1986.
That's dude, that's incredible, man.
Yeah.
So you've been your own boss like your whole life almost.
Yeah,
it's really amazing, Brad, dude.
Sort of my whole motivation is never having to have a boss.
Exactly, but it's just your love of the punk and all this stuff, and starting the band, Bad Religion in high school, all that, and just it's a crazy life, man.
I'm not a good employee, man. I mean, trust me, I'm a much better boss than I am an employee.
Yeah.
Ask any of my people, I'm a nice boss.
Yeah, I only heard wonderful things about. You're not really a boss. You're just like the guy you go oversee. You're like, yeah. Boss is like a scary kind of word. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else we gonna talk? Oh yeah, you've been getting tattooed a lot too. I've been seeing too.
Oh yeah,
some Dr. Wu, and then some Tokyo Hero. Correct.
Well, dude, I just got my back done by the Grime. Did I tell you?
No, I gotta see it after the whole back.
My whole back took me a year.
Wow. Where's he based out of?
San Francisco.
Okay, he's legendary.
Yeah. He's such a great dude.
Yeah, it kind of hurts when we get older getting tattooed, though, doesn't it?
Thank you. I was wondering if it was just me.
Especially you got your whole back done.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend just did that too, and like he had some. It was rough. Like it's just like a lot of
pain, dude. And when you do a large scale piece like that, the line work is like 13 needles wide.
Yeah.
It's like thick lines because they're so long.
Yeah.
Ouch.
It took you that long to get it done. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, I waited. I probably went up there 5 or 6 times, and we probably did 4 hours each time. And
yeah.
I used to be able to go 6-7 hours, but I can only go when I was a kid,
Yeah.
But I can only go like 4 hours now. It's like, and we'd take a little food break in between.
Yeah, it's just a lot on your body, man. Just like your everything, your immune system, all that. But you've been going, man. You have like the tattoo bug again.
I mean, I don't know. I've done it very slowly. I've always gotten like a tattoo every year and a half or something.
Yeah,
I never got a lot. So, but yeah.
But you said Woo too. You go to Woo?
The only reason I got one from Woo, here, I'll show it to you right here. You can barely. It's really light. It's
he's got really thin
his stuff doesn't show up that well on me because it's single needle. But my wife wanted one from Woo, and I went with her.
Yeah.
And I thought, all right, well, it's sort of like you go to a candy store, you want some candy. I got one because she was getting one.
He's awesome though. I heard he's a super nice guy. Yeah.
I love that dude. Yeah, he's nice. And then the one I just got from Hero is because when we finished the Joyce Manor record, someone said as a joke, okay, we should all get tattooed now.
That's cool.
And so we all, and Hero's a guy I know from the old days, and he was willing to come to my place and do all of us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was a fun thing, but that was more of a bonding thing than a tattoo bug. You know?
Yeah. And then what does kind of punk mean to you maybe in 2025 or just in general? Because for me, we always talk about the podcast how like punk and hardcore is not one style, it's not one sound, it's not one look. There's all types of bands that people can say, well, that's punk, well, that's not punk to me. Like how the punk we grew up on is different than what kids are listening to now. But I hate all the gatekeeping stuff, and like I love all the new stuff. I'm very open-minded about it, I'm sure, as well as you because you own a label. But like, what is punk to you? Does it have a meaning to you or anymore? Or
Yeah. I'd say that it has two different meanings for me. One is super obvious, right?
yeah,
It's a sound with a style, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what is punk? Well, it's punk music and you dress punk, right? And what does that mean? Well, like, it's pretty obvious, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, there's a little bit of there's a scope there, right? You can dress punk three different ways, but
Totally.
so it's a way of dressing and a kind of music that's punk.
Yeah.
But then also you could say, well, what is it? If you ask me if I'm punk, I'd say I don't got to prove it to you, dude.
Totally.
Right? Like, hell yeah, I know what I am, right?
Yeah.
And so what does that punk mean, right? And I think what it means is, it's sort of it's thinking differently. It's thinking for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. Being an independent thinker and not going with the crowd.
Yeah.
And so those are they're two different. I think sometimes people say like, what does punk mean? It's kind of like saying, well, what is the meaning of chair?
Yeah.
Well, that's a chair. It's like,
True.
it's like, well, everyone knows what punk is, but what they're really asking is, what is it about punk that, what's the ideology behind it?
Yeah,
And
for
if,
sure.
If there is one, I think it's just, independent thinking and going against the grain.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just to be oppositional,
No.
but for
Question everything.
for good. For
Yeah.
the good, right? Like, like when we were kids, we had mohawks and, boots and chains and whatever the fuck, tattoos, right? And we were challenging social norms, right?
Yeah.
Right. And today, if you go to Disneyland, more people have tattoos than don't have tattoos.
It's crazy,
right?
man.
So we did change social norms, right?
For sure. 100%.
I don't know if that made society better or worse, probably neutral, whatever.
Yeah.
But the point is, it wasn't a bad thing to have a tattoo, and we had a different idea about it.
Yeah.
And so, it's independent thinking.
Yeah, because some people, it's like, well, this, like, if a Turnstile, one of these bands, like, oh, that's not punk to me. It's punk to the kids who are listening to it in 2025. That's their punk. That's their first Ramones. That's their first Fugazi, whatever. We had ours. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, like, you can't, like, some people would say, like, harder band's not hardcore because they're metal. I don't know. I just feel like it's all kind of the same in a sense, in a weird way. The Drains and a Hatebreed or a Sick of It All or a Scowl, it's all that mentality, right? It's all like the ethos and all the stuff of punk, right? So
right. I mean, the punk ethos, other than just thinking for yourself, is if you could characterize the music, obviously it's aggressive rock and roll, right?
Yeah.
And on that level, hip hop is punk. I mean,
100%. NWA, Public Enemy, yes, for sure.
Some people say to me, this rock and roll's dead. There's no rock and roll. I say, what are you talking about, man? Travis Scott is rock and roll.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like hip hop is just rock and roll without guitars. Don't tell me it's not rock and roll. If it fucking makes you go crazy and want to bang your head and dance, it's rock and roll.
Yeah.
So it's all just semantics, right? And
I mean, there's people at mosh pits at Travis Scott shows.
It's rebellion. It's a spirit of rebellion and sexuality and togetherness that you get in a fucking dance floor with loud sound happening.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think, probably John Fogerty was right that, punk was a rejection of disco, but what that meant was it was a return to rock and roll. And what rock and roll is just fucking, that's my religion. That's like rock and roll is the freedom you get from that fucking music when you hear it and it takes over your soul. It makes you feel alive.
Absolutely. What was a major influence for Bad Religion back then when you started? Like, what were you guys listening to for the sound of Bad Religion?
Yeah, I
'Cause
mean,
it's very melodic.
yeah, I mean, it was. I would say we were listening to the Dead Boys.
Mm.
We were listening to the Ramones.
Yeah.
We were listening to the Buzzcocks. And then our peer groups, we were listening to the Germs and the Adolescents.
Okay.
But don't forget, I grew up in California. So you live in California, you grow up on the Beach Boys and the Eagles, right? That's what's on the radio.
Yeah.
So I had all that harmony and melody, and Elton John. So I had all that harmony and melody, influencing me also.
For sure.
Which didn't come through on our first record, but we started experimenting with it on Suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the greatest, man. Well, thank you for being here, man. You were my 5th episode. Now you could be like my 365th episode.
Awesome. 365. I love that.
It's so crazy, but like
that's a year of episodes.
But yeah, just obviously we had the first one on that episode we talked about. We did Mr. Brett, Please Put Down Your Gun. That was on the Short Music for Short People. We did that during the FTTW record. That was so fun. Got the lowrider bikes because we were going to sign to Epitaph. There was a bunch of lowrider bikes sitting in the office. And
I remember those.
And Brett's like, put in your contract. So we put in a contract and we got like 7 bikes shipped to New York City.
You must have been the only kids in New York City with lowrider bikes.
We were. I was like, this guy's a man of his word. He's always been a man of your word. But yeah, and just even going to stay at your house when you were, getting treatment, we got to stay at your house. And I remember coming to see you right before you went away for the first time, and I brought you the license plate shirt with East Coast Epitaph on the back, gave you the shirt like right before Thick in the Water came out. Just all these moments, and just like they just Rancid really pushing for us. I remember giving you our first demo, and then you were kind of into it. Then we came back with our first record. You heard that, and then we ended up signing to Epitaph. Just that whole story, and just how Rancid really believed in us as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Tim's always loved H2O, and he always loved you, Toby. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a big part of our career of H2O.
Well, you've been a big part of my career too, so thanks for that.
So maybe we'll produce the next H2O record.
Maybe. You got to ask me.
It's been 10 years since we did a record, so we're working on some new stuff now. My son on drums, and it's an exciting time to make new music.
Hey man, I love that. I love that track you did with Papa Roach, man. That was
thank you, man.
That was a banger. Congratulations.
It's my first time ever on a bill. I've been 2 weeks Billboard in a row, #1. Never had it my whole life. Dude.
Congrats on that, man.
Thank you.
That song slaps.
Wow, thank you, man.
Hell yeah.
I just performed with the Palladium last weekend at a fundraiser. It was so cool. Nice dudes, great team, great crew taking care of me. It was really just a random ass come sing on this song. I'm 55 years old. I did a cameo.
Yeah,
and I went to #1.
That's great. I'm so happy for you, and it's a good song.
Thank you, man. Well, thanks for being here, Brad. People can hit you up on Instagram. You might not answer. You check your DMs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brett might hit you back. You might not. It's Epitaph Records Instagram.
I might not hit you back, but I'll read it.
Will there ever be more Punkaramas? Or that's no.
No, I think maybe. I think it'd be cool.
That'd be so cool, like a 2025 one.
Yeah. Just
all the newer bands on. It was just so important for that time,
Yeah. So, but what do? You can't charge $5 because streaming's free. So, what is that?
It might have to be free, man. It's like a free sampler or something.
Yeah.
Because then they had the Warped Tour samplers. Remember those too? Yeah, there's so many after that. Yeah. Was Punkarama the first sampler? Would you have to say? Because then there was Fat Records and there was Warped Tour compilations.
I mean,
maybe
it was before the Fat one, but it wasn't the first one. I mean, I think. I mean, you could call it a sampler, I guess. I had a record in like 1980 called "Hell Comes to Your House," which was like a punk sampler, and there was Rodney on the Rock Volume 1, which was a punk sampler that Posh Boy put out. So the punk comps were a thing, and labels have put them out before.
Just so important though, man.
We were the first one to put them out for $5. That's the thing. We put out a $5 CD, and no one had done that before. And they had something like 20 songs on them. So
was that before $5 Fugazi shows? Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, but then Fugazi are doing $5 shows. I'm like, God damn it, Ian! I don't want to do that. Now you're making us look bad.
That was the most punkest move ever. And it's just the $5 show is great. And other people tried doing it, but it's like, yeah, man. Shout out to Ian, man. Just hung out with him a couple weeks ago for like 5 hours of Discord. It just every time I go, that's like going to the Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory. Just seeing everything in all his archives. You ever been to Discord?
No.
Brett, you gotta go, man. It is the last one. That in Gilman Street is one of the last kind of standing punk houses in America,
Yeah, for sure.
He's amazing, dude. All right, thank you, Brett, for your time. I know you're a busy man. I'm gonna come skate with you next. And thanks to all the listeners.
All right, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Mr. Brett. Bye. Epic podcast with Mr. Gurewitz. Thank you, Brett, for coming to my crib. Thank you for being my 5th episode, because we talked about that episode and referenced it so much in this podcast. I'm going to add it to the end of this episode right now. So for all the first and new listeners who weren't listening 6 years ago, you can hear a deeper conversation about Brett, our relationship, also with Bad Religion's history and their career, etc. Thank you, Mr. Brett. Love and appreciate you. Thanks for all the listeners and the new listeners and the new subscribers. I really appreciate everybody supporting this podcast, and have a great day.
Hanging on to traditional values and defending cultural norms. It's literally the opposite of everything I've stood for. Yeah. It fucking, yeah. I can't believe I turned into the old guy who's saying fucking kids today, but I am. I fucking am.
Someone's got it.
I always said, like, if I have kids, they'll never be able to piss me off. The only thing they could ever do to piss me off is become a Republican. And now it's fucking, my kids it hasn't happened, but a lot of the kids in the scene, it has happened. 100%. And it's like, what the fuck? I don't give a fuck. I don't need those fans. They can go. That's how I feel. I'm not telling you how to feel, but that's how I feel.
I 100% agree.
When you hear about people in punk rock bands that are Republicans. That's weird.
And I think it was okay to have that point of view until this guy started running the show. You know, and still until Trump, it was there was a gray area. But once Trump became manifest,
I agree with you that there's room in the world for different points of view, and a normal Republican is way left of Trump. Actually, you know, to tell the truth, a normal Republican from the olden days, right, is far to the left of a totalitarian leader, right? There's still room. Yeah. There's still liberal ideas there. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with family values or lower taxation if that's what someone cares about more than helping the poor and being being an individual, like whatever, right? That's a conversation. But the problem is, I don't think Trump has any values.
No.
Trump is a kleptocrat who's out there to grab power, hold on to it, and make him and his family richer. And the thing is, the bad guys in the Senate and in Congress are sort of these extreme right-wingers who are using this Trump moment to push their reactionary right-wing ideals, which is don't let a woman control the reproductive rights of her own body, don't give people freedoms, take away voting rights, suppress. It's just like, you know, so that's the problem, right? And so all Republicans who don't condemn Trump or denounce him are complicit in this swing to the hard right, 100%. Including whether you're a punker or you're a priest or a rabbi or whatever, the mom or whatever the fuck you are. You know, that's how I feel about it. If you don't condemn him, you're with him, and you know, he literally has no values. There's no discernible values in his fucking
body.
There's no loyalty to anything.
Except for him and his family, but probably his family. It's just mostly to him. It's all about himself.
I honestly think he's a psychopath. I truly believe it. Truly believe it.
Mental problems.
Yeah.
How the fuck?
But
Does that guy stay in office though?
I don't know. But these guys like McConnell and Ryan and all these Republicans who got on the Trumpist train, right? They are demagogues. They are promoting an ideology of which is not friendly to democracy.
What's really scary is the damage to the fabric of the United States that he's done. Like, people no longer trust the media. Yeah. And that's probably going to continue even after.
It's going to get worse than that for sure.
You know, people are starting to distrust democracy. People are starting at every election's suspect, and there's like a whiff of dishonesty in it.
Republicans, these kids in the alt-right, they don't love democracy. They don't value democracy. What they value is a strong leader and purity and loyalty and honor. You know, I had a kid say to me the other day, "Fuck a punk." He said, "Fuck democracy. Democracy is the tyranny of the majority."
What the fuck?
What the fuck? You know, it's like, okay, well, look at until we all live in an anarchist paradise together. How about democracy? Right?
Seems to work okay.
See, but what you're saying,
the tyranny of the majority, because the majority get their way and the minority don't. Yeah, no, it's bullshit. It's obviously bullshit.
What you mentioned about the ideology is really interesting. Like, I'm from Venezuela, and I saw, you know, Chavez and that whole thing. Yeah. Trump is saying, and McConnell, they're saying the same things that he said.
Yeah.
They're talking points that have been perfected from Russia, Cuba,
from Chavez to Putin to all these, you know, Erdogan.
Putin,
It's great.
We're not recording it.
They're
he's
smart.
recording this
They
shit,
want that.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have that ideology. Trump has
talking
no
shit.
idea. He just wants to be safe and
Yeah.
be corrupt and be kleptocratic and all this shit and have, like Toby said, have his family.
I don't think Trump has no idea. I do think he's smart, and I think that the ideological one is Steve Bannon, right? But
Who's gone?
But
now,
Trump
yeah.
is a charismatic leader, and he knows that right before a midterm election, go out there and scare the heck out of people, right? Talk about the caravan, talk about immigration, talk about Ebola viruses, talk about whatever. Day after the midterms, there's not a word about the caravan anymore, right?
Yeah.
So that's a page from the Putin playbook, and Trump is sticking to it pretty well. Right?
It's great
So
that 100 million.
I'm not saying that it's in service of an ideology for Trump. It's simply in the service of power. If something worked better, he'd do it. If something worked better, he'd say it. I mean, day one of his presidency, he just started blasting untruths, right?
Yeah.
So
Uncle
that
Trump.
he was not trying to convince people he was telling the truth. He was trying to convince people that I can lie so fast that nobody can possibly know the truth anymore. So stop caring about truth.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted to do, right?
It's true,
That's
man.
unprecedented.
Yeah.
Like every politician lies. No politician ever lies so much because their goal is to get people to give up on ever even seeking the truth, so they can just seek refuge in the shelter of their filter bubble on Fox News or their Facebook group and only hear the point of view that makes them feel more comfortable, right? So that's what he's doing.
It's,
Anyway,
it's
I
cool.
don't know
It's cool. 100 million
It's
people
nothing to
voted.
do with Epitaph and H2O, so we can move on to other
No,
stuff.
but I like this. I'm going to record it. But I liked it. 100 million people voted. That's amazing, right? The biggest midterm
that's
election
great. That is
ever in the
great,
history of
yeah.
America is like,
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah.
And like some of the first women were elected, and the first
A lot of women were
gay
elected.
man was elected.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of good stuff, and
There's a lot of positive stuff from
there's some
it.
positive stuff.
And
yeah.
then with the House being reclaimed will hopefully create a bit more of a system of checks and balances, so he
hope
doesn't
so.
get too wild.
The big problem is Facebook, really. I mean, without Facebook, we would never have a Trump, and it's breaking society up. It really is. It's killing society.
It's super political, Facebook, right? It's like, it's super, I'm not on there, but I know my friends are. Just super intense and just super in your face, right? All day long.
It's radicalizing people.
Are you on
it's
there?
radicalizing. Well, I mean, I'm on it because I have a record label. I have to like promote the new song to Every Time I Die's fan base, whatever.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not personally. I haven't put a family picture on there or checked in with my aunt on Facebook in years. I don't use it for that, And I certainly don't use it for news anymore at all.
Yeah.
It's too dangerous. It's bullshit.
Actually, I'd go in and remove anything because I don't want anything to be out there.
There's a new article. It's an op-ed in today's New York Times about the danger of Facebook and how a lot of things would have never happened had it not been for Facebook. The rally in Charlottesville, a lot of these mass shootings, the very election of Trump itself. It's all this stuff is Facebook's
People organizing shit on there, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Facebook's business model is not aligned with the welfare of society. What it's aligned with doing is just whipping people up into a pissed off frenzy about whatever the thing is. That's what Facebook is good for. They're pretending to be good for sharing family photos.
It started
Really?
off. It started off like
reconnecting
that.
with people from high school and shit. like,
Yeah,
recently.
I miss cat videos.
It's good for that, but that's not what it's for anymore.
It's all about
That doesn't get as many clicks.
Yeah. It's about the clicks and the fucking all the social media shit.
Yeah, let's talk about H2O. Let's talk about your podcast.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Mr. Brett. We just got caught up talking about politics. We are live at Epitaph Records. I want to say that Epitaph Records and Discord Records are like the last remaining independent record labels in the world. Physical, actual buildings. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I don't really fact check here like my man Mike Rappaport. But I just want to say that I think that that could be true or false. But I'm going to say it's true.
Oh, I don't know. You can say it. I won't argue. I don't really know. Yeah, there's a lot of indie labels out there. There's some cool indie labels now that have punk bands are like Top Shelf, Run for Cover, Tiny Engines. They're doing like there's.
But for how many years? This started in 1980, didn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's sort of the official. There was sort of a few little starts. So I put out our first 7-inch I put out Bad Religion's first 7-inch in 1980 or 81. And then
How Can Hell Be Any Worse?
How Could Hell Be Any Worse in 81 or 82?
81, yeah.
Yeah. And then put out Vandals Peace Through Vandalism around that time.
Yeah.
And it put out around that time.
And it's been how many years?
Well, we've been in this building since 94, so I guess that's 24 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the voice of Brett Gurewitz. You may know him from Epitaph or Bad Religion. So thanks for making time out for us today, Brett Gurewitz.
Thanks for having me.
You might know him as from Mr. Brett, Please Put Down Your Gun, from a 30-second song we did.
Mr. Brett, please put down your gun. Mr. Brett, please put down your gun. Oh man, we just came here. Oh, everyone's coming in here. Oh shit, he does have a gun. Get out of here. No, seriously, he's aiming the gun at us.
Oh yeah, that was from Fat Records, man. The Short Music for Short People compilation. Remember we were in the studio with Brett doing FTTW in 1999. Fat Mike hit us up, and then we did that 30-second songs. I don't know what it had to do with guns. I don't know if we had any guns in the studio. I don't remember that at all. But yeah, that's where that came from. That's a fucking awesome memory I would never forget. And yeah, we have a lot to talk about. You started Epitaph Records. We talked about that briefly in 1980, and then 81. 80 put out the first Bad Religion 7-inch, and then 81 was like How Can Hell Be Any Worse?
Yep.
And then I think Peace Through Vandalism was after that, Vandals, right?
Yep, the Vandals, Peace Through
And then
Vandalism.
I think a bunch of Bad Religion releases, right? Before you did, obviously, Rancid and Pennywise and NoFX.
Yeah, so those very early records I sort of did as a kid when I was living at home with my parents.
Yeah.
And then sort of had a second sort of a restart for Epitaph in the mid 80s, and that's when we put out L7 and Suffer, Bad Religion, Suffer,
great record,
those kind of records, and that's what I kind of look at as the official start. And I reissued How Could Hell Be Any Worse at that time and stuff like that.
Okay, it was did you write? It was 21st Century on that too.
21st Century Digital Boy was on Against the Grain.
Okay,
yeah.
But then it was re-recorded later on, correct?
And it was re-recorded in '94 for the Stranger Than Fiction album, produced by Andy Wallace. So
wow, Andy Wallace.
Yeah, his recording of it's cool. I like the old one too, though.
So that was the 80s, man. That's before we even started going to shows, because we didn't start till like 83, 84, like in DC and stuff, right? I think we saw Bad Religion back then, though.
Early Man. Only Gonna Die is what you're referring to, and that was on the our first LP. It was on How Could Hell Be Any Worse. Yeah.
So you've been here for such a long time and been doing this for a very long time, and I thank you for that, because you put a lot of records out that actually help bands like us have longevity still because of the success of other bands. How do you think you stayed this long, and what do you credit to your longevity and being here for so long and still putting out records and still have the passion for it?
Well, that's a good question. I guess, one of the reasons is that I've been really lucky, and a lot of the groups that I've signed, a lot of the records I put out turned out to be, really talented artists and who made really enduring records.
Yeah.
And so, there's my band, and those records have turned into sort of, cult classics.
Yeah.
Those early records.
Staples.
But even the earliest stuff I put out, one of the first bands I signed was L7, then NoFX, then Pennywise, then Down by Law, then Rancid, then Offspring. So it's literally, there were almost no bands in between those. Like, that's the order that I signed some bands.
Man.
Oh, and the Vandals, So I don't know, maybe, back then, it wasn't the same as today, where anybody who made a song could just put it on Spotify or SoundCloud
or YouTube. Do video.
So back then there weren't as many records, and usually a band needed to either do it themselves if they had the resources, which not everybody did. I was lucky; my parents helped me, get things started and
awesome.
Have a little DIY label, so you either had to have the resources to DIY, do it yourself, or you had to find an indie label. And I don't know, like, so it's not like I was listening to hundreds of demo tapes, and out of those demo tapes, I picked No Effects because they were the cream of the crop. You know, it's I'm not, I didn't have any special ESP of who was going to be big.
Yeah.
It's like I had a studio. I was a recording engineer for $15 an hour, just barely making ends meet. Fat Mike's, brought his band into my recording studio to do some recording. And I was like, and he did that because he liked my band.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he liked the way I made my band sound. So he brought his band into my studio, and I was like, you guys are sick. Can I put your record out on Epitaph? It was just like that. It wasn't like, what I mean? So I guess what I'm saying is, luck played a part.
Yeah.
I guess, friendships, relationships, there's a good dose of luck. And also hard work and believing in the music, and then also learning from my predecessors. There were indie labels in the past, and I saw all my friends and bands getting burned by their labels, right? Like Posh Boy, an old friend of mine, I'm not trying to diss him, but like he never paid a band. SST were not known for paying their bands. So indie labels have always been thought of as being cooler than majors.
Yeah.
But the truth is, a lot of the indie labels in the past hadn't figured out how to pay royalties for one reason or another, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's just because they weren't that good at business and they got upside down. I'm not judging anybody.
Yeah.
But when I saw that happening, I said, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to be fair with my bands. I'm not going to do this and be some kind of pariah in the community.
Because you're in a band too, and it's like
I'm in a band.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And bands were my friends. So So on one hand, I was lucky. I might have been a little smart and hardworking, and then also I learned from my predecessors that, you know what, keep your nose clean. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you owe somebody $1, pay them $1.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and those are the things I've done, and for one reason or another, I'm still here.
And you did do that. I know we're fast forwarding a little bit, but what you just said, if you're going to say something, do it. When we came here, we were about to sign with you. We came into the walkthrough here, and there was a bunch of these lowrider bicycles that Voodoo Glow Skulls were going to have. And I was like, we want those bikes. And he said, like, put them in your contract. So we put them on a contract, and we got those bikes shipped to New York. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
You were with that.
You're probably the only ones in New York with like
we were
with
back
like
then.
Cali lowrider bikes.
Exactly, we were. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Oh, because
those were not made for riding.
No.
Yeah,
but so what was like the first? What was the first release? I guess big release that you're like, holy shit! Like, because I mean, from what I heard, you were selling CDs out of like I don't know if it's true out of like a garage, like Offspring or something. They blew up. You were selling so many records. So what was the record before that started taking off in punk rock?
Well, I mean, for me, what happened was really sort of lucky timing, because we put out How Could Hell Be Any Worse in 81. Then we sort of all went our separate ways for a few years into the mid 80s. So Greg went to college. I went to vocational school, learned to be a recording engineer, and I was getting jobs working in recording studios and doing that kind of stuff. Yeah. And so, and the band played the odd show here and there, but for 4 or 5 years, the group was really on half steam.
Okay.
And then in 87, when I decided to start Epitaph up again, because we were going to record Suffer, I called up some distributors and they were all, hey, How Could Hell Be Any Worse? That record's a classic. We want to buy,
oh shit,
a bunch of them from you. Right. And I was like, really? So during that sort of sleepy period, like our debut album had become a cult classic, so that as a result of that, when people found out we were going to do a new record, which was Suffer, people were like, oh man, we got to have that. Right. So literally sort of the first record I put out after restarting the label did really well. Suffer, Maximum Rock and Roll called it Best Album of the Year. Flipside Magazine called it Best Album of the Year. Those were sort of like the punk rock Bibles at the time. There was no internet. There were no blogs. So that was it. That was like getting in Spin and Rolling Stone.
Yeah, Maximum Rock and Roll is the shit.
Of punk. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was our first big record. It did pretty good. It did like 10,000 here and 10,000 in Europe, and it started blowing us up in Germany. So that, and then that was sort of the first one, but But I
gonna
mean,
start going Steamboat.
yeah,
Night, yeah.
I mean, NoFX Rib did really well.
Oh yeah.
Pennywise debut album did pretty well. Rancid self-titled did pretty well. It was almost like everything I put out. It's like Suffer started this little ball rolling, and people who like that California melodic hardcore sound,
Yeah.
were interested in the next thing I'd put out. And then and I was producing all those records, so I was helping those bands, like teaching them what I knew about production and melody and so forth. So, which I tried to help with you guys with too on your record a little bit, even though trying to be respectful of the New York hardcore sound as well.
Yeah.
But
it just seems that there's that point in the late '90s where just like it was classic after classic coming out. I mean, you had Out Come the Wolves, Full Circle, Everything Sucks.
Yeah.
The Agnostic Front record.
Right, then a Descendants record. You didn't even Yeah.
Everybody looked to Epitaph for
Yeah.
putting out these
But right, because the last one was good, everyone looked to us, and then the next one was good too, right? And so, a milestone for us, the first record I ever shipped 100,000 of was Against the Grain, believe it or not, Bad Religion Against the Grain. So that was it was Suffer, No Control, Against the Grain, and that one shipped 100,000. And at that time, it was sort of Bad Religion, Fugazi were like the two big punk bands or hardcore bands, whatever you want to call it, in the U.S. Like we were both could play at Palladium at that time. You know what I mean? Yes. Yeah. So that was a big breakthrough. And at that time, shortly after that, I think I signed Offspring, and we put out Ignition, which was the first record by them. And, it wasn't the biggest record in the world, but Ignition probably sold from 30 to 50,000.
solid.
Yeah. And, yeah. So there were a lot of groups selling records, selling, a decent amount of records, each.
Green Day blown up too at that point?
Green Day was on Lookout, and they were probably like, Green Day at that time were like about as, like they were smaller than Op Ivy, you know what I mean? Like they were pretty big. They were like, maybe about as big as NoFX, or, they could sell out Gilman. Yeah.
I feel like the stuff in Epitaph started blowing up, and then the Dookie thing kind of went. It was all in the same kind of time, right?
Yeah, I mean, Green Day. So when we did Recipe for Hate, right? We did our Recipe for Hate tour, Green Day were mixing their album Dookie, and they were opening for us on that tour.
Wow.
So we were going around, and we were playing like big rooms, like 1,500 seaters, 1,000 seaters. I think 93.
Okay.
Yeah. And Green Day were opening for us, like main support for a band like us, which meant, they were sort of as big as NoFX or Offspring, something like that. Pennywise, that's what size they were.
Wow.
And then we put out Offspring Smash, and it blew up and started going gold and platinum. And then right after that, Dookie came out.
So when the Offspring blew up, what office were you at? A small office at that point? Like a couple people working there?
Yeah. So we were... You've been down there, right? Have you not?
The one
were you
before
ever in
this?
office on Santa Monica? Oh, this is the one? Okay, yeah. So, we were in a small office on Santa Monica Boulevard, right on, I think the cross streets were Santa Monica and Argyle.
Oh, yeah.
Near Santa Monica and Vine. And it was basically a little warehouse space, but it had a little office inside the warehouse. And, it was like 5 people. It
Wow.
was like, so the story you're the story you mentioned that you heard was, so the Offspring started selling so rapidly that my whole place was filled with Offspring records, and there wasn't even room to walk anymore, all the way up to the ceiling. And then we started renting out extra storage spaces downtown, and those things were filled up. And so eventually, I had to look for a bigger building, which I found this place. But I thought this place was so big that we'd use half for the office, half for the warehouse. And I did buy this place. But then by the time we were able to start getting in here, this place was way too small to hold all the records.
Damn. I remember coming to so much shit here. Yeah.
So then we had to make this just be the office and get a big warehouse somewhere else.
Was that just for CDs and LPs?
Back then it was cool. We had 3 formats: LP, CD, and cassette. Yeah. And we had to make all 3. You remember that, right? Those days you'd be like, what do I want to buy it on? You'd have the cassette for your car. You know? Yeah, now there's everything's on your phone. I know.
How do you think that the switch to digital affected the music industry?
Well, do you mean the switch to streaming, or do you mean the switch to CD, or to streaming? Well, I mean, it changed everything. I mean, it put most of the major labels out of business. If you notice, there's only 3 major labels now. There used to be 7, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
So at first it made the business smaller and smaller and smaller, so that all the majors had to sort of merge. And now there's 3 left where there used to be 7. And so that's one thing it did. It also leveled out the difference between the majors and the indies, because it used to be that, there were chain stores and it was hard to get into them for punk bands. So punk records were hard to find. But now there's no record stores at all, right? And if any band that puts out a record or a song, everyone in the world can listen to it the same minute. Right? So so in that sense, that's pretty revolutionary. And you'd think that would be a purely positive result, which I would too.
Yeah.
Except that, as often happens, the big tech companies that were profiting from all of this weren't really sharing any of the love with the people who are the creators. So in the beginning, there was a lot of rip-offery happening. It's getting better now. Spotify is paying. YouTube still doesn't pay equitably, in my opinion, but Google does. So, I could go on, but it's getting good now. And I think at the end of the day, I think the music fan is a winner. I think the legacy artist who has a body of work out there that's beloved from Led Zeppelin to Minor Threat.
Yeah.
They're benefiting from it because people will continue to listen to that music for their lives, and they'll be paid, and it will never go out of stock. It will,
Yeah.
So, so I think there've been some positives and some negatives, and hopefully over time the negatives will dissipate and it'll be a net positive.
I like that vinyl is still big.
Yeah, me too. We
That's
do a lot of
amazing.
vinyl at Epitaph, and that's cool. And yeah, for me, I thought CDs were cool when they first came out because I'm just a nerd. Like anything new, I like it generally.
Yeah.
But I'm the opposite of a Luddite. But the truth is that, like, CDs are kind of, it turned out to not be that great anyway. They do scratch, and they have their problems, and endless reissues of newly remastered CDs with a stick of chewing gum in it and 2 extra bonus tracks gets a little tiring after a while, right?
Yeah.
So for me, having like the stream, for the pure music lover who just needs to hear it now or needs to hear it on top of a mountain.
Yeah.
And the vinyl for the collector who likes to
have something in their hand.
Fetishize something and have something.
Yeah.
To me, that's a cool combination.
I do miss that, like going to a record store and getting something or reading the thank yous or looking at the layout and stuff.
Yeah. So now you can have that when you buy the vinyl.
Yeah.
But the truth is I like streams better than downloads. I don't need to have a bunch of MP3s on my hard drive, so who needs it, Who's
your streaming service you like?
Well, of course, I like them all equally.
You know what? I need to get a service because I still buy shit off iTunes. I just have it on my phone. Like you stream from different things.
I stream.
I'm gonna start streaming too. I think it's easy.
Yeah, I'm streaming, and I'm not picking sides, but
I hear you.
I'm grateful for all the playlist editors who add our music to their big playlists on their big platforms.
This may sound like an old guy thing to say, but I do miss the ritual of going to the record store, and buying the record, and scanning the thanks list for the next cool band. And then
be honest, you're just looking for your name on there. That's all.
Yeah.
That's why you just scan the thanks list to see if you're on there. That's what we all. Yeah, that's why we all miss it. I used to go to my local record store, which had like punk rock imports, and they had the fanzines on the wall. And I used to go there and I'd check out the back pages of all the scene reports to see if there's anything about my own band. That's what I used to do.
Shows and shit.
Yeah.
Did National Record review shows too, or just records? Flipside did shows, live shows.
There's live shows, there's records, there's scene reports, they would have gossip, whatever. You just look for your name in there anywhere.
I saw a kid, he's like 24 years old, wearing a Maximum Rock and Roll hoodie.
Really?
Oh,
I
right.
was like, how do you even know about that?
Yeah. They're historians.
Kids know about everything.
Kids are
man.
historians.
So,
Yeah.
who was part of naming Bad Religion?
Well, I mean, me, Greg, and Jay were there. I think I came up with it.
Okay,
I'm
awesome.
not positive. I definitely came up with the logo.
Was that super controversial back then and got a lot of shit for that, or?
Yeah, totally. But I think even beyond being controversial, I think it helped the band a lot because, especially in Europe, where it's probably less controversial,
Totally.
but it's just so memorable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
It's such a powerful logo still.
yeah.
Like even back then, it's just like a friend of mine the other day. I'm gonna blow him up on this podcast. You know Chad Muska? He's
Yeah.
a famous skateboarder.
I don't know him, but yeah, I know.
He showed me his Bad Religion tattoo.
Oh, that's rad.
He did it
Yeah.
himself when he was a kid.
Oh, that's
on
sick.
his ankle, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, it's awesome.
That's sick.
Yeah, so back then it was pretty. Yeah, that was pretty shocking logo. And now it pretty much still is.
Yeah, but you know, we our first tour of Europe, you know, the Bad Religion logo was just everywhere, and you know they snipe your tour posters in Europe, and it's just like something clicked in my head. It's like, whoa, yeah, that's like, you know, that's like way better than a Nike swoosh. You know, that's like look at that shit. You know, like you don't look at that and forget it very easily. You know,
it's powerful.
That's a strong logo.
Yeah.
You probably were anything branding back then.
Well, I was in my own immature way because like I was in the punk scene, right? And so many of the bands in my world had what turned out to be like such legendary logos. DK,
Yeah, great.
right? Black Flag, probably the best punk rock logo of all time.
Yeah,
Like this, so simple.
Misfits
So
has
simple.
a skull.
Misfits.
7 seconds logo. Love that shit.
Yeah. Like, so, you know, Social D, you know,
Yeah.
like, so the you know, and in LA, even smaller bands, China White had a rad logo. So yeah, bands had logos, you know what I mean? So we were like, I wasn't thinking of it in terms of like Mercedes or Air Jordan or something, but I was like, okay, we're a band. We need a punk name, and we need to have a name that can have a good logo. You know, so.
It's so basic, but it says so much. You know what I mean? Like,
Here's a question. Back then, because I remember going to so many shows in the mid or late 80s, and nobody sold merchandise. No one had a T-shirt. You
I
made your
know,
own.
yeah.
You made your own.
Yeah, totally.
So
No,
when-
we never sold merch in the old days. Yeah.
Because that's
Yeah.
I was so on those tours.
Yeah,
when-
starting in the late 80s, you know, like I remember, you know, we would start doing it, and Epitaph used to tell bands like, hey, like we'll buy you a bunch of shirts if you'll put the Epitaph logo on the back. So I was trying to, you know,
awesome.
yeah. So like in the early, you know, I'm talking like, you know, 88, 89, if you see shirts like with like a big oversized Epitaph E on the back, that's probably, I probably bought the, you probably had some too.
I think we had some too.
Yeah. Probably, maybe I made those for you, you know?
I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah, a few of them.
Which,
yeah.
because I always thought it was. I know. Say with Ian Mackay, it was his whole credo. It seemed like, you know, a $5 show. And, and there was never any merchandise. And it's like, here's a band that is so influential that everybody wants a piece of them, but you couldn't.
Yeah.
So
they make
it's,
shirts now though.
So always, I always wondered where that tipping point where bands actually.
Yeah.
Because now that's pretty much when you're touring, that's a big chunk of your income could come from merchandising.
There's always been two sides of it in punk. Like there's always, you know, like there's always been like sort of the, you know, on the West Coast there was Maximum Rock and Roll and Flipside, and MRR were communists. Like Tim Yohannan was just straight up communist, and they would sell the thing for cost or whatever. Yeah. Flipside were just, you know, like punk rock, you know, glossy cover, you know, sort of like. You know, fuck the system, anarchy, but it wasn't like they didn't mind capitalism, right? They wanted to make money selling magazines, right? Yeah. And then you had Epitaph and Discord, and I totally respect Ian, but you're right. It was like, you know, he sort of felt that it wasn't ethical to really make much money out of punk, right? Where I've never had any problem with capitalism. I think capitalism is a beautiful thing. I think that, you know, I think that it's harmonious with classical liberal democracy, you know, and I think that a lot of the prosperity in the world is because of democracy and capitalism. So I was always trying to blow my bands up and sell their records, and I don't want to make an unfair profit, but if I can make a T-shirt a kid loves and make a buck on it, I'll do it. You know,
I never understood that, like, especially around that time.
I respect the other point of view too. Like Crass were communists. You know?
Yeah.
Like I get it, you know, but it's just not me.
I never understood that. Like when all that stuff was happening, those bands are blowing up and like sell out. I remember they had the Epitaph sellout shirt. That was
I made
amazing.
that as a joke.
That's
yeah,
amazing.
Yeah,
We used to roll this on the Warped Tour. So yeah, people call. I don't never understood that part of like, okay, we love this band so much, and now they're actually getting lots of more people liking them. Maybe they get in the radio or you see their video, and then they're a sellout. Then we don't like you no more. I never understood the mentality of like a band can't make a living off doing something they love. I never understood that.
You know, man, it happens. It's a dynamic. It happens not just in music. It happens in everything. Like happens in business, happens in religion, happens in fashion, right? Like let's say you're you're part of some church, right? And it's you get a lot out of it. It's your community church, and but then it gets bigger and bigger and starts getting really popular. Yeah. And it turns into a mega church. Then people will be like, I'm just not getting what I used to get out of this church. It's too big now. Yeah, let's start our own little church. And they break off and make a little splinter church that's more true to the values of the original church, right? So that's it. It's just a dynamic. I don't know if there's a name for it, but it happens whether you're a band, a label, a fashion house, a religion. It's someone should study it, and someone should, in college, some smarter person should do a study, an anthropological study of it in college.
Epitaph started as a small label, and at some point in the I'm assuming in the mid '90s, it just blew up. Right? It became like you're putting out all these records, all these bands are on the cover of Spin and whatnot. Yeah. Did you catch much backlash for that?
Yes. Yeah. So what you're referring to, 94, when Offspring came out, Spin Magazine said they called it the year that punk broke. Yes. And Offspring had a platinum record, Green Day had a platinum record, Rancid had a gold or platinum record, Bad Religion put out Stranger Than Fiction the same year, gold platinum record, right? So suddenly punk rock, which was was a major label thing in the beginning because it was the Ramones and the Sex Pistols, but those records never even went gold. Like those were underground records. Major labels said, "Oh, this doesn't work. Let's move on to the next thing," right? They went on to sort of like dance pop or whatever. But then punk rock broke first from Epitaph in '94, and when that started to happen, I got a lot of flack for
like the internet too, kind of.
It was the beginning of email. Yeah, it was the beginning of it. But it was chat rooms and message boards. But
did it ever bother you? Like, fuck, who cares?
A little of both. Yeah, it bothered me a little. But yeah, people were mad at me for. That's why I made the Sellout shirt.
Love that shit.
But yeah, people would accuse us of selling out punk because suddenly punk CDs were in chain stores and
Power and shit.
Yeah,
MTV was embracing the whole.
Yeah, but I was never trying to keep our music away from kids. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, it was a win. Like for me, I achieved what I was always trying to do. I couldn't believe, I'd succeeded beyond my wildest dreams. So, but yeah, they said I sold out punk. I ruined punk. I blah blah blah. So.
Probably the same people were buying the records too. Still the ones talking crap about it.
Anyway, it's all good.
But did major labels come around and try to buy you back then too?
Yes, yeah. Bigger companies have been trying to buy me the whole time. I mean, it's been happening. I mean, it's still happening. Yeah.
Damn.
Was there a small part of you like, okay, I've achieved pretty much everything I was trying to. Why don't I just turn this thing over to someone, let someone else do it, sell it, and I'm just gonna go vacation and start another thing?
No, I never wanted to do it because I felt like that my label was founded on DIY values, and a lot of my bands signed to me and stayed with me, right? And they had like Rancid, a lot of my bands had offers to go to majors and they didn't, even though Offspring famously did. And anyway, I'm not criticizing any of the ones that did. But the thing is, we did go to. I'm really not. I mean, I'm really honestly not criticizing anybody.
I know.
But many of them didn't, right? And so the thing is, it wouldn't be fair for me to get some big payday by taking major label money when all my bands didn't. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it just would never feel right. I felt like I need to be the guy because all indie labels always sell. I probably Ian won't, and I won't either. Like me and Ian are going to be the guys who never did. That's what I want. When someone offers me like the real fuck you money, which has happened at least 3 times.
Damn.
I just think about it, and then I think about what that would feel like to take it, and I know I couldn't even sleep at night. So I decide that it's just not worth it.
Gain the world, lose your soul.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel the same.
This is a somewhat left field question, but for us on the East Coast, when we looked at California in that kind of 90s era, there's two labels that kind of stood out that represented lifestyles to us. One was Epitaph, the other was Death Row Records. Did you ever swim in the same circles as those guys back in the...
Yeah, man. One time I went to lunch with Jimmy and Suge and what's the guy from Priority Records? Fred Turner?
Sure.
Yeah, look me up on that. But
what year was that? Like, what was that when everything was going?
That was like when it was happening. That was like when it was blowing up, like 95-ish.
Like,
they wanted to meet with you?
Yeah, we were discussing maybe doing something, all three of us.
Wow.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Were they trying to get you to merge or do something? Or even
it was creative conversations about maybe creating a label that would have like Death Row and Epitaph and Interscope and
like all the rebel music in one place.
Oh, Brian Turner. Brian Turner. Yeah. So Brian Turner and me and Jimmy and Suge.
Was that intimidating at all? No. You didn't care. Right?
Yeah, I guess it was intimidating. I mean, it's hard to remember. I mean, I was excited, you know.
Suge
like
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they were like the biggest kind of. Well, they weren't independent though. They were the Interscope.
Well, they're definitely parallel.
Well, Death Row was, and Death Row was formed when sort of in the aftermath of NWA, no pun intended.
No pun intended, aftermath.
Brian Turner signed, Brian Turner had NWA, and he decided to keep Cube, and he sold Dre to Jimmy.
Wow.
So Dre and Suge went to Jimmy at Interscope, and Cube stayed with Brian Turner at Priority.
Did those amazing
and then they formed Death Row over at Interscope. So and it was sort of an embedded indie at Interscope, and they had all those huge big hits. But I'll tell you what influenced me at Epitaph more than Death Row is prior to Death Row, is that before my Offspring record, I was still selling a lot of records. I had big records. Like I said, I shipped 100,000 of Against the Grain.
Yeah.
I had big records by Pennywise. I think Pennywise Straight Ahead.
Yeah.
We had Offspring Ignition. We had Rancid Let's Go. We had all these big records, right? And they were adding up, and we were becoming a powerhouse. And then Straight Outta Compton came out right around that time. I guess Straight Outta Compton probably came out in 92 or 93, something like that, I'm guessing. And they were doing bus benches around town, and the song was on the radio, and this band was like doing these insane shows in L.A.
And we didn't see that on the East Coast.
Yeah. And the record went gold, and then the record went platinum, and it was an indie record distributed by my distributor, the same distributors that Epitaph was doing,
Caroline
right?
Distribute?
It was Red.
Oh yeah, Red. Yeah.
So I looked at that and I said, "Holy shit, that's an indie." Now it's rap, it's not punk. But gangster rap is sort of a transgressive form of music, just like punk rock, 100%. Just in a different way.
100%.
And so I looked at that, and I'm like, and they're doing snipes and bus benches, and that gave me the idea to do snipes and bus benches for punk music. So I started doing that for my bands, actually from seeing like what NWA were doing.
Still doing that. I see them all around. Yeah.
And then when Offspring blew up, and it started to blow up and really cross over, and I knew it was going to be a platinum record, and the majors started coming to me and saying, "Hey, you should do a deal with us because an indie can't really have a platinum record." The thing that I thought about was NWA. Well, they had a platinum record.
Wow.
And they were indie.
I didn't even know that. Did you know that?
That was in 1988 when that was released.
When it was released. So probably it was like 89, 90 by the time it was going platinum. Yeah. Right.
Wow.
So that was an example to me, and so I said, well, no, if they could have a platinum record without a major's help, why can't I?
And it wasn't even poppy music; it was aggressive hip hop.
No, super aggressive. Yeah. So that was very. Those guys were very influential to me.
So to this day, was Offspring the biggest record, probably?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it would probably be the biggest independent record of all time, except for Adele came along, and
she was independent too.
Yeah, that came out on Beggar's Banquet, Martin Mills label.
I didn't know that either. I'm a fan.
Yeah, so that one was bigger than Offspring.
So after the Offspring record, they left after that? Or was the one after that?
No.
After Smash.
After Smash, they left, but they kept. I put the next one was called Ixnay on the Hombre. And I put that one out in Europe, and they put it out. Sony put it out here.
Okay. That was Fly for a White Guy one, I think.
No,
Maybe.
it wasn't. That was the one after that.
Okay.
There wasn't a big hit on it. There was just a minor hit on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they left, and then Casey, what year did we sign now? So 97. 97?
97 was it?
So yeah, Rusty remembers going to he was Brett was doing Out Come the Wolves.
Oh yeah.
Electric Lady on 8th Street.
Yeah.
We came by with a demo.
We played you the demo.
Rad. Those were good times.
It was fun. You guys were so involved in that recording, and they were painted their nails. It was like one of those we're in here together as a crew.
Yeah.
And I remember Tim saying, "Oh, come by, you gotta hear the songs." So, yeah, bring that tape by, let Mr. Brett hear it.
That's rad.
And,
that's cool. Yeah.
Unbeknownst to us, because at the time that record was just being made, and we had no idea how huge it was going to be.
Yeah,
so
none of us did.
We
Yeah.
rolled in with our shitty little demo.
Yeah.
And you're making like one of the greatest punk rock records, of our time.
It sure is, man.
It's one of the greatest ever, man. That record,
Yeah.
man.
It's like, hey, check out our demo. Hey, don't you want to sign us? Let's go on tour next week.
I hope I was I nice to you guys? I hope I was.
Yeah.
You were.
All right, good.
And I think he gave us advice to maybe work on the songs more, and then we signed the Blackout, and then we put that record out, and then I think that's what Rancid heard. You heard that, and that's when we met you and we signed with you.
Cool, man. Yeah. And that was Bill Wilson from Blackout?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still around. I
talked to him
he's
recently.
in the
He's
music
good.
business, yeah.
So I remember that coming out here, had a showcase or something. You were there, MTA was there, and Blackout was there, right? Was that 96?
I remember Bill saying, "Yeah, I'm going to come out. I want to talk to you about this next record." And we'd been speaking with you, and we were like, "Man, if we could do a deal with Epitaph, that's where we're going."
Because I thought we're the first East Coast band.
We wanted you as a label as our first choice.
Yeah.
And I thought we're the first East Coast band. We weren't. It was Down by Law.
Oh, Down by Law.
Oh, huh.
We were the first New York, I guess, band back then. There was no other band really.
Yeah. You're the first New York band for sure.
So then we signed, and then that was Thick in the Water. We did that with Larry Bucksbaum, rest in peace. You know he passed away, right?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, Larry Bucksbaum, he passed away. That was in New York.
Yeah.
And that's Adam's first album with the band.
That was indeed. And then we did that record. We followed that up with FTTW, which you produced with us.
In Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, New York. And you had
in
just...
shitty Brooklyn, before trendy Brooklyn.
You had just come back from a...
when it was still Brooklyn.
You had just come back from a extended vacation, shall we say.
Oh, it was I just gotten clean?
Yes, you had just gotten clean.
All right, cool. You can say that. I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because when we first did Thick in the Water, you were about to go to rehab.
Yeah. I don't mind talking about that stuff, yeah.
Okay, I could.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Let's get
because he's had issues with... He's Adam's sober now.
So I know...
cool.
So your battle was specifically with heroin?
Yeah, I had one with heroin, with crack, cocaine, with pretty much all mood-altering substances.
Attaboy. If you're going to do it, do it. I'm just curious. After, you seem to be on top of the world at that point. It seemed like everything's going great, and you have this kind of monkey on your back, so to speak. I'm curious if there was one event or one moment where you're like, man, I'm done. I'm cleaning up. I'm stepping into the light, so to speak. If there was one moment in your life that kind of defined and made you take that last step.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like that at all. I got arrested and was in county jail.
Remember that, the mustache?
Yeah.
I remember,
That's what.
Oh, that's right.
So-
the Vato mustache.
Yeah. So I'd been trying to get clean.
Bray had the mustache, was so awesome.
Well, that was after having been in jail.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. So I'd been trying really hard to get clean, and wasn't able to do it. And got popped for possession.
Oh man.
Twice, and
was that during the whole time on running this label?
No.
Yeah.
No, I grew the label. I was clean and sober for. I was clean and sober for 7.5 years, from April 14th, 1987, all the way into the mid 90s, almost into late 94.
Okay.
Okay. So, and then, as we've discussed in this podcast, like, you know, by the end of '94, I was like, you know, the music industry's wunderkind, and I had the biggest label in the world. I was on top of the world. So I just thought I thought I wasn't an addict anymore.
Yeah.
You know, that's why, you know, I just thought, okay, well, like, you know, just drink occasionally and
Celebrate,
be a normal person now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't even celebrating. I was just thinking like, okay, you know, I'm an adult and I got this, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, obviously I was wrong about that. And so fast forward to, you know, to 97, you know, I'd been on a run and,
That's when we signed too.
yeah. My second clean date was December 21st, 1997. So so I got clean again. So I was basically went on a run that lasted a little under 3 years.
Okay.
But it was pretty nightmarish. And it wasn't like I had some kind of an epiphany where I should really turn over a new leaf. I mean, I was, you know, I was in big trouble. You know, I was in really, really bad shape. And anyway, so yeah,
you gonna do time?
Yeah, I got popped twice. I was looking at doing 6 months or staying clean for a year. Right, I got a deal. It was called You know, there's a proposition in California to help addicts, which is actually a really good thing. And so anyway, it was basically that I took that. I decided to stay clean for a year instead of doing 6 months in county.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
That was probably scary as hell too.
No, because I was out of my mind.
Okay.
Nothing was scary.
And am I right in remembering that you were
Dark side.
You were in rehab at the same time Scott Weiland was in rehab?
No, I was in there with his brother Michael.
Oh.
Although I knew Scott.
How'd you know that? That's good for me to know that.
We would play chess when we were making FTTW, and Brett would
nice.
discuss his experiences in rehab.
Yeah. Oh, you know, I was really dear friends with Michael Weiland, Scott's brother, who was also an addict, and he's, you know, rest in peace, but he's no longer with us because of the disease of addiction. He wasn't able to get straight, and he's dead now. And so is Scott. So I mean, their poor mother. Can you imagine?
I can imagine.
I've always wondered what keeps some people on the straight and narrow and pulls others off. It's really hard to get a read on what that X factor is. That some people just escape and some people never do.
Yeah.
Well, for Toby, you saw your brothers, and you're like, no, I'm scared straight.
Yeah, they scared me straight as a kid for sure, like not to try anything. But they weren't doing a lot of shit, drinking, smoking weed, whatever they do in the house. But still, when you're younger, look up to your brothers, like, you know what I mean? Seem drunk. I don't want anything to do with it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know.
How long sober now for?
Over 20 years now.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
You still playing chess?
Yeah, a lot. Every day.
I remember.
Rematch time.
Are you still playing?
Nah, I haven't played it.
I'll play you. I'll play you right after this.
I remember doing recording that record with you. It was free. It was the winter, remember?
Mm-hmm.
In Coyote Studios. We did, how many weeks did we do there? And then he left and came back, right?
Probably 2 or 3 at least. Yeah, would be typical. Yeah.
I remember the day that Freddie came with everybody to do Guilty by Association. He came to the studio, but had 40 ounces.
That was fun, yeah.
It was just a good vibe, and we picked that studio obviously because you did Life Won't Wait there, right? Some of the stuff on Life Won't Wait was.
Some overdubs, yeah.
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 So that was one of the funnest recording situations for us, I think. The energy.
Oh, it's great.
And we did the demos, the Tim Armstrongs.
And there was zero Pro Tools. It was all.
Yeah, it was all
that's
tape.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long did we record that for? Like, how many weeks was that?
It was 2 weeks in there.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was just for the recording.
It's gonna be 20 years for that record next year.
Yeah, we did a couple days of pre-pro. I remember in some rehearsal room. I hung out with you guys. Remember
Yeah.
that?
Ultrasound, I believe.
Yeah.
Ultrasound in the city.
And I think we did the Suicidal Tendencies cover during those sessions as well. I think we did a cover of I Want More. Yeah, I think that's where that comes from. Sounds like it. Has the same sound.
So that was 90. That was 98. We recorded that.
Yeah.
Because the record came out
97, 98.
Because it came out in 99, right?
Mm-hmm.
FTTW.
Yeah, released in 99.
And then you had been sober then for almost 2 years from then at that point, right?
Yeah. Like I said, December 21st,
Yeah.
97 was my date. So that's the last. The day before that was my last time using.
Do you remember? Damn, you remember where you were? Were you in the East Coast or out here? Or?
Yeah, I remember where I was, but it was at my house. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And we used to always stay at your house too, me and my wife. So thank you for that. We used to always,
Sure,
we used to always
yeah.
put us up there at your house.
Yeah, send my love to Moon.
I will.
Yeah.
So then that record came out at TTW, and then we toured on that for a long time, right?
We did. I remember there was the Punkorama cassettes would come out.
Yeah,
and that was great for us. Those
incredible.
were amazing for us.
I want to talk about those too. All the Warped Tour compilations.
Yeah, and then we did was it the Summer Epitaph Summer Nationals, and then was it the Punkorama tours that we did?
Punkorama tour, Bouncing Souls, US Bombs.
Yeah.
But like all those CDs compilations were so helpful to people who never heard of us before, just because it was Epitaph, kids would listen to it and see the new bands on it.
And
I remember.
And to this day, I'll run into random people in California and be like, H2O, weren't you on a Punkorama comp?
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
Right. Yeah, no, those comps were great things for driving discovery and helping people discover new bands and new music.
That something
they were only
new?
$5, you know.
Was that something you guys came up with? That Epitaph started that?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't start the punk rock comp. You know? I mean, obviously, I grew up on with great punk comps, but we had the idea of putting them out there for only $5, which is basically the cost. You know what I mean? So so with mechanical royalties and pressing and shipping and all that stuff. So, but the idea was just put them out there, make no money on them, but let people discover our groups, you know. So.
It was so helpful, man. Like to this day, people still talk about that.
Invite more people to the party.
Yeah.
Especially on the Warped Tour ones too.
Yeah.
And then, what else?
Well, us leaving.
Oh yeah.
Epitaph.
So yeah, that was a move that I don't know, man.
Oh, leaving Epitaph.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never had any hard feelings on that, you know, because I always just, you know, we always do the best we can. And sometimes, you know, bands want to try other things. My own band did that, you know, so what'd
you guys sign to?
Bad Religion went to Atlantic for a few records. And then they came back to Epitaph for Process of Belief. Yeah, because I left the band.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I'm never, you know, as long as it's done the way you guys did it, which was mellow, which was like, hey man, cool, you know, we did our 3 records, we did our contract, now we're gonna try something new, and that's rad, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Face-to-face conversation.
Yeah, it was all super friendly and honest. I respect it, you know. Like I don't think of, you know, I don't own my bands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They own themselves. You know what I mean? They're you know, they should you know, see
Try
what's
things.
out there in the world and try things. Yeah.
I got inspired by like seeing 7 Seconds do that. Like when they kind of went. Was Restless a major label? Restless Records. I think it was a major, wasn't it?
I don't remember. I don't know.
I remember them doing. So all the bands do that. And I mean, the Clash did that. Like a lot of bands were doing trying the major label thing. But
Sure.
A couple bands did that with you and came back though, right? It wasn't just Bad Religion.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 A few like Motion City Soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
Went to a major label and then they came back to Epitaph. Bad Religion went to a major, came back on Epitaph. Anyway, I'm sure it was, you know, it's fun to try different stuff. You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a really fun experience, but we've already discussed that in this podcast already. But I feel like the move back then we thought was the right thing to do and try something different. And I don't know.
Yeah, I remember at the time it was always a conflict within the band where you had one person is like, I want my shot.
Yeah.
And another person would be like, but it's family and it's a label that is based and run on family and there's family ties with Epitaph. So it's definitely like a push-pull with us.
Yeah, I can relate, man. I understand, but I just have to say, like, you know, even with family, you know what I mean? Like, I love my daughters, but I've got to fucking give her away someday. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, none of us own each other. You know what I mean? So it's all good. You know, we're all just on this, you know, trudging this road together.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate you being part of FTTW record, signing us. All that was an exciting time for us, you know, back then. And
the best of times.
Best of times. And we get treated better here than almost anywhere we've ever been in our life. I remember like our trailer got broken into and you guys bought us gear. I don't know if you know that happened, but it happened. Just like the way we got treated on it was super valuable. We had all of our friends on this day with the Bouncing Soul sign. Now it's like front sign. Because at first, then they started coming over, right? Like a lot of our
Madball, we did Madball records. Yeah. Remember that? Yeah.
It was just such a magical time to be a part of this whole thing. You know, you had Warped Tour was happening, Epitaph was blowing up. Yeah. It seemed like the rising tide raised all the ships. Everyone's shows were great.
Yeah,
it was such a beautiful moment.
Yeah, I often think of it in that way, the sea level rising. it helped the whole indie music scene. You know,
It did.
at the
And,
time.
and all the bands that like people were bummed to call them sellouts, those bands helped us. You know, as much, you know what I mean? All the kids who were like bumming on the bands were getting so popular, they helped the little bands who weren't popular. You know what I mean? Like it all helped each other.
Yeah.
It opened so many doors for us, man. You know, like
inspired Bootstraps, which was on that.
Yeah.
So how do you feel? How do you feel now in 2018 about, I guess, punk or, where everything is now with everything that's happened since then?
You know, I'm actually really excited about music. I mean, obviously, I'm a business guy and a dad. I'm not a punk anymore.
Yeah.
But I just wrote a new Bad Religion album with my band and recorded it, and we have a new album coming out. I'm going to plug my band on your podcast. we have a new record coming out. We haven't announced a street date, but we've dropped a couple singles already.
That's awesome, man.
So. No, I don't. I'm not toured in years, but they continue to tour. So, you know, I mean, a lot of the legacy bands, like you know, my band and Rancid and those guys, they're still out there doing it and plugging away and making good music. You guys, same thing. And then, you know, there's a lot of really cool young bands that I'm continuing to work with.
Yeah.
Joyce Manor.
Interrupters.
These guys, Joyce Manor.
Yeah, I heard of that.
Who I love, put out a record this year. It's one of my favorite records. Interrupters are a great band, and they got the number 4 song in the country right now. She's Kerosene. It's a big hit.
Yeah, it's awesome. Good for them.
I'm signing a young, just a really powerful young feminist band called Mannequin Pussy.
Okay, that's
a great name and a great band.
Where are they from?
They're East Coast. I think they're from Philly, but I mix up my East Coast. So anyway, yeah, check them out. They're phenomenal. But anyway, there's just I just signed a young hardcore band, or you could call them post-hardcore from Canada called La Dispute. Who are super political, super talented. So
I heard of them. Awesome.
So you know it's still happening. You know, there's still bands out there touring in vans and kids, you know, kids getting sweaty and who believe in something, dancing together. So, and I'm just grateful that I get to do this for my job still when I'm an old man. You know, so.
We'll say this is the same thing every time we book a tour and we see a crowd in front of us.
Yeah.
Singing along.
Yeah.
It's like, this is amazing.
I got to show you something. Hold on. This is you're gonna laugh at this really hard. This won't really make any sense to the podcast people because I'm going to show these guys a picture. It's going to make them laugh. Pass this around.
Oh yeah.
You seen that?
Definitely.
I've seen that.
Aren't you guys a little?
I love that shit.
Listening to punk music.
It's like 80s punk rock. It's amazing, man. That's the truth, though, man. It's crazy, like seeing a lot of the punk rockers age compared to like the rock stars. It's awesome.
I know. I mean, how is it that the Rolling Stones are booking a new tour and the Ramones are all dead? Like,
but on the other hand,
maybe they can afford blood transfusions. The Ramones couldn't.
But there are a lot of punk bands that are still playing though too. That are hanging in there. You know what I mean? Like and still like have energy.
Oh yeah.
And
mine is.
Yeah, and John Joseph Cro-Mags, like 55 years old, like still like 100% on stage. Is this the first Bad Religion record you wrote in a long time?
No, I've never stopped.
Okay.
I mean, since they came back to since Process of Belief, I've been writing on all of them. I just don't tour anymore.
Yeah. What's the last tour you did with Bad Religion?
Well, I guess the last real tour was Recipe for Hate because Stranger Than Fiction, I wrote the record and played on it, and then I sort of left the band.
Okay.
And then when they came back to the label and I rejoined the band for Process of Belief, I toured a little bit. I did a couple of weeks in Europe with them.
Wow.
So, yeah.
It's hard leaving kids that go on tour now, right? It's like, it's a different world.
Yeah.
How about for guitar playing?
I mean, I play on the records, but I've never been much of a guitar player.
He's still producing. Obviously, he still love producing all that.
Yeah, I played a single I played a guitar solo on the new single. Oh, nice. Yeah, so
that's awesome.
Check it out. Want to sample some of my
hopefully we get some angry, rebellious punk rock out of you guys.
Yeah,
I think we certainly need it.
Yeah, after the podcast, come upstairs. I'll play a couple of new songs.
Okay, awesome.
If you want to hear them.
I think we covered a lot, right?
We did.
We covered a lot. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you being here for all of us and what you did for music, what you did for H2O, what you continue to do for this type of music, and we appreciate that you're here, and you have an amazing legacy and everything you contributed, what I would say, contributed for us. We appreciate that, like everything, man. Like,
yeah, you're a huge part of this band's history, and we're forever grateful for
whether you think you are or not. It had a major impact on us.
Well, thanks, you guys. It's a real honor to be on your podcast.
Thank you, Mr. Brett. Oh yeah, please put down your gun. We should play a clip of that. I'm gonna play a clip of that in there. Thank you, man. We covered a lot.
Sure.
Yeah, that was fun, man.
Oh, you know what? Can I ask one more thing? Can I ask one more thing?
This is where we get that. Oh, we got more questions.
Brett, there's a final question. So, what keeps you going? Like, some people have like exercise or their coffee or their family. What keeps you positive or I mean, I know it's hard with the politics and what's happening with the administration, everything going on, but what keeps you going every day? Like, what is something that keeps you still passionate at your age and everything?
Well, it's not what keeps me passionate, but you first asked what keeps me going. And
Yeah.
And I do a lot of meditation.
Okay.
I've been meditating for over 30 years. And,
wow. You do too, right?
Do you follow a specific system?
Yeah, I do a technique called Vipassana, which is mindfulness meditation. It's the meditation taught by the Buddha. And, I do over an hour a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's before you start your day, just in the morning or something?
I mean, I do 40 minutes in the morning.
Yeah.
I do it throughout the day.
You just block out shit and just do it.
No, you don't block out shit. It's the exact opposite.
Okay.
You become aware of everything in the present moment.
Okay. That's awesome. So that's your thing to get you through. That helps everything. Like if you
it really does. I can't recommend it enough, but that's what I do.
And if you never missed a day, or if you missed a day, it kind of puts everything
I missed
off.
many days. In the dark days of my addiction, I didn't really do it. No.
Okay.
It's not really possible to do it while you're on mind altering substances, but
yeah. My wife does. What's it called?
Meditation.
Yeah. Trans. Yeah. She still does that. She does that too.
that's I started. That's the one I started with.
She loves it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I started on that when I was 14 in 1976.
Wow.
Yeah.
I started this year.
I don't know. I don't know. It got in my where I found out about it, but I found out about it and I took a course. I had progressive parents and they let me sign up for TM when I was 14.
I was just saying, my one New Year's resolution this year was to meditate all 365 days.
Have you done it?
Messed up a couple of days, but
365 days.
Yeah, that was my goal starting this year, the one resolution, and I definitely have found it to be very helpful. Yeah, it's real.
I think about trying that. You don't do yoga?
No.
Yeah, me either. I don't do that. People tell me I should try it, but Rusty, what's your regimen?
Coffee. Dogs.
I love coffee too.
Dog walk, coffee.
That's both these guys are crazy coffee dudes, man. Like,
keeps you
No, I am too, man.
focused.
how many cups a day you want? You think 3, 4?
About 4.
Yeah, I think it's Rusty too. What about you, Adam?
I don't know. I just keep filling my cup up when it gets about halfway down, so I don't really keep track.
You know, one more thing, I feel really dumb about this. I was looking up stuff last night about Brett and Epitaph logo, and I just realized that the Epitaph logo is going to sound so dumb.
You just
I'm
realized what it is?
That it's a gravestone. I didn't even realize it, man. I'm such an idiot.
That's amazing.
I know. I looked at it last night. I was like, holy fuck. There's a fucking great. I never thought about it. I saw it was like a cool looking E. I don't know. Like, I'm a total poser, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for listening. I'm a poser. Thank you, Brett Gurewitz. Thank you.
Thanks, Toby.
I recorded that episode like in October, along with the other first 4 you guys heard before that. That's going to be kind of like my MO, where after I do an interview, I wait and I realize, oh shit, I had more questions for them. So usually there's going to be some extra stuff at the end of all my episodes. It's kind of like the theme of what I've been doing. I'm sorry, I'm just a spaz and I don't get all the questions I need to. And sometimes I just like OCD and bug out on what I could have, should have asked them, and I get them back on the phone. Also, I know you guys were saying that Rusty Pistachio was super low on those 3 episodes. But yeah, Rusty talks like this really quietly, sometimes, so it's really hard to hear what he's saying. So that's why I got to do your best to listen as hard as you can. But we turn Rusty up as loud as possible, and that's just the way he talks. We love Rusty for that. So enjoy some more questions with Brett Gurewitz. Thanks, guys. So I mean, we talked. I listened to the episode. We talked about so much stuff, and but there was just a couple more questions like that I wanted to ask you. And do the stuff. I'm gonna send you everything when it's all put together. But even just the beginning with you, we were talking about politics and stuff. That stuff is so amazing, man. So I definitely want to let you hear it. Make sure you're cool with it. But what I want to ask you is that you mentioned too that you started. We mentioned earlier that when we were talking is about you started doing meditation at a really young age, right? I think your parents turned you on to that. I think you mentioned that, correct?
No, my parents did not turn me on to it. What happened was that I stumbled upon a book on transcendental meditation.
Okay.
In the mall at Pickwick Bookstore. Remember Pickwick Books?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I actually discovered punk rock at Pickwick Books too.
Oh wow,
funny,
that's one of my questions.
You'd be in the mall with your parents, and you'd go to the bookstore, and they'd have, you'd find out about the world. That was like before the internet. But anyway,
yeah.
So it was, I don't know, it was like 76 or something, and it was like
wow.
EDM was like the big fad in the U.S. at that time. That's when it was hitting the U.S.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the book, and I showed it to my mom, and I said, "Hey, I want to try this." Or I think I said, "Would you buy me the book?" I said, "I had the book," and I said, "I want to try this." And they had classes in.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I basically asked my mom if she, if I could take these classes.
So, but were your parents pretty open minded about? Was there any like pressures for you, like you have to go to college, you have to do this? Was there any certain mold that they wanted you to fit, or were they pretty just open minded, like whatever you want to do, we support?
They wanted me to go to college, and they wanted me to do well, but at the same time, yes, they were super supportive parents, and they were pretty open minded, But, they wanted me to be a good kid and stay in school, which I didn't do.
You did. So did you get good grades?
Well, no. I mean, I'm a high school dropout.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I hated school too, and I got really bad grades, but I kind of forced myself to do it, and it's interesting because my son's having a rough time in school now too. Like he really loves music and skateboarding and creating music, but he can't stand school, and I'm just trying to like focus on that with him right now, just to get him through. So you just got to pass. You just got to make it through, and then you can do what you want to do. But so that, I guess it leads me to another question you just mentioned about going to that place. So what was your first exposure to punk music? I didn't even ask you that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I was reading a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Because it was starting. There are things. It hadn't really come to the suburbs of L.A.
Yeah.
In the late 70s, like in 77. It was, at least not. I was only 15 years old in 77, but I wasn't aware of it. But I had seen. I'd seen like some coffee table books with pictures of punks in England.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I knew that. I knew there was something happening. And then I got turned on to the Ramones. I think in like '78.
Wow.
At my local record store. That was like they sold imports, and they're like an indie record store. They weren't a chain. They were called Moby Disc. And
Moby Disc.
Yeah, it was called Moby Disc.
That's awesome.
And it was a cool record store. And it was like, it was the record store that had, it had imports from the UK.
Yeah.
And then it had hi-fi imports from like Japanese vinyl. And then they had punk records. And, and they had a big painting. They used to have big paintings of album covers out in the parking lot.
Okay.
So they had the Ramones, they had the Ramones' first album. And it was... It was really big in the parking lot. It was sort of like
those guys standing there in front of the wall, I think, right? They're all standing.
Yeah, these four guys with long hair, but wearing leather jackets in front of a brick wall.
Yeah.
And And then the guy in the store said, "Hey, yeah." I said, "What's cool, blah blah blah." And he said, "Yeah, you got to check out this Ramones record." And so I took it home, and that was it. It was hook, line, and sinker.
Was that
I loved it.
Was that, you think that's one of the bands that inspired you to start a band?
They are the band that
Okay.
inspired me. No question. Yeah. That they and I think that they were really the Pied Pipers of the indie rock movement. Because that's what punk rock turned into indie rock eventually.
100%.
And spawned all sorts of all sorts of subgenres. I mean, it's and I think the Ramones were the genesis of all of that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So when you dropped out of school and then you got inspired by music and you want to start a band and all that stuff, were your parents worried about that decision, or just like, were they worried about the direction?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they were. As a parent now, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But, I didn't tell my parents that I was dropping out of high school to become a delinquent. I said, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm going to drop out of high school. I'm going to take the GED, and then I'll go to junior college instead, and I'll just skip. I'll skip 12th grade."
Wow.
And they're like, "That's cool." So then I went to junior college and fucked around for like a year, and that I was taking music theory courses and
Yeah.
philosophy of Eastern and Western philosophy courses, and whatever it was, I just thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And that wasn't really going anywhere. And then and I sort of went from there, and I thought I'd try art school, so I went to Otis Parsons art school for a while.
Yeah.
I did that for probably 6 months or something. So my parents were very supportive in trying to help me find my groove in life.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think I would have really enjoyed school later in life. Like after in my 20s, I kind of slowed down and gotten more serious, but I just wasn't really equipped for school.
Yeah.
Like before I was like 25.
Yeah, and when they found out the name of your band, Bad Religion, did that freak them out a little bit at all, or no?
No, they didn't care. They were like, my parents aren't religious. We come from a Jewish family, but
Yeah.
they're very reformed,
Yeah.
very liberal. There wasn't, there's no. We weren't observant Jews in that way. We had.
Yeah.
We didn't really even have relatives that were very observant. We would. Weddings and funerals were usually at the synagogue,
Yeah.
and we had friends who had bar mitzvahs and stuff, but it wasn't. It was more of the cultural traditions than anything to do with religious dogma or anything like that. There's no praying or
in your house. Yeah.
There's nothing spooky going on in my
Yeah.
house to do with religion.
That's the same way. Same way I'm raising my son too. Is like with no religion in our house. We really never raised him with that. He's just figuring out stuff for himself. And and then also you also mentioned too briefly that you quit Bad Religion and then you rejoined. What was there a specific reason for that? You just didn't want to tour anymore, and the reason why you came back?
Oh well, I mean, it's interesting. Like these guys are my oldest friends, and we when we started in our band, it was in high school, and those guys were 15 and I was 17. So like
wow.
And that was in like 80, right?
Yeah.
So by the time like we got really big, it was like 91 or something. And we'd already been in a band together and been friends for 11 years.
Yeah.
And then by 94 we were really blown up. Like we got signed to a major.
Yeah.
And we'd done a bunch of international tours. We were like huge internationally. We could sell out multiple nights at the Palladium. We could sell out stadiums in Germany. And so
yeah.
it was like, and it already felt like I'd been doing it for a lifetime, and we were getting on each other's nerves.
I'm sure.
Like, and I'm not putting the blame on anyone else. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure I was a dick, but and in the moment I thought they were being dicks. And
Yeah.
like, we were just totally on each other's nerves, and my record company, Epitaph, had just started to get super successful.
Yeah, for sure.
Right at that period of time in '94, like I just put out The Offspring, I just put out Rancid, Out Come the Wolves, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I was making Stranger Than Fiction for Bad Religion.
Yeah.
And all that was happening simultaneously. And we were in the studio together just being totally fucking, just being bitches to each other.
Yeah.
The whole time.
I've been there.
And I just said, fuck this. I'm 32 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing in a punk rock band for fucking, 15 years already.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be a grown up and do my business right now, and I don't need to fight with you fuckers.
Yeah.
Quit.
Totally makes sense.
That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a good. I thought Stranger Than Fiction was the best record we'd ever done up till then. It had every chance to be huge because it was on a major.
Yeah.
And I thought that was, I just thought that would be a poetic time for me to stop. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Like when we were at our peak.
Is that your favorite Bad Religion album? Probably.
I don't think so. I
Okay.
think Process might be my favorite.
Okay. And then how many years were you out of there before you came back?
Well, then they went and did 3 more records for Atlantic.
Wow.
And then I came back. So I don't know. Maybe it was 3 or 4 years before I came back.
Yeah. Need the break. Yeah,
I'm
focus
sure
on label.
You can look it up somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then, what? Here's one more question too. Is like, what are the values from punk rock that you learned as a young kid that you kept with you your whole life? With running a label and becoming a parent and being a husband and stuff. Like some of those values that you try to instill into your kids.
Yeah, well, I think DIY values. Like sometimes no one's going to do it for you, so you got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
And also loyalty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and community.
Yeah. Awesome.
And I think individualism. Really valuing the individual.
Yeah, that's awesome. Those are perfect ones. And then finally, I want to ask you: do you consider yourself like an optimistic or pessimistic person?
Oh, optimist.
Yeah, I see that 100%. Yeah, even through all the crazy shit happening, I feel like that mentality always prevails and always wins.
You gotta be.
Yeah,
you gotta be.
Especially now, man.
A classic pessimist,
Oh my God! I know we haven't talked since we did the interview, but there's so much has happened since that with the shutdown and the state of emergency threat and all this stuff. And I've been inspired by you. I've been going more hard on social media with the political stuff because it's been getting me really, really angry. So I've been like just venting about it. And people,
even his whole platform of making America great again, as
mm-hmm.
if it was better in the past than it is now.
Yeah,
I mean it's cynical. It's pessimistic, right?
100%.
I mean, things are getting better, and an optimist looks at things and says, let's make things better than they've ever been.
Exactly.
Not let's bring back the past. It's nothing but pessimism.
That's a good point.
Fear and pessimism.
It's so hard. It's so hard not to get caught up in it and start looking at the news and not having it affect you mentally or affect your day. It's so hard to like stay away from it because I don't want to avoid what's happening in the world right now, but like it's to try to stay positive. It's really hard to like look at that stuff, but then I feel like I don't want to live in some little bubble where I just avoid all the shit that's happening. But all right, awesome, Brad. Yeah, this is great. This is perfect. All I wanted to ask you, and we have a great once it's all put together, I'll send it to you and stuff. And I appreciate it really much. I appreciate it a lot, Brett.
All right, right on, man. Well, hey, thanks for a really good interview, and let's hang out sometime.
Yeah, for sure. I'll hit you up. I have your number now, so I'll reach out to you. We should get some food or something.
Yeah, we should go. We should go with the girls.
I'm down, 100%.
It'd be fun.
All right, awesome, Brett. Have a great day.
All right, talk to you later, Toby.
Bye. Got to give a big shout out to Liquid Death. I've been in a band called H2O for 30 years, and my first real job with a company is a water brand. Go figure. Love you, Liquid Death. Love the people. Love the brand. Love the concept. Love what they give back. Love the community. Love what they do for the environment. You can go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on any of their merchandise that they make. They have such incredible collabs. Also, if you want to hear the story of the CEO, my good friend Mike Cesario, on the podcast, you can go to episode 115, part 1. And then 2 years later, we dropped a part 2, which is episode 275 with the CEO, Mike Cesario. Just a man from Delaware with a dream, worked at a marketing company, and made this become a reality. Liquid Death is an incredible company, incredible water, incredible people, and I'm super, super honored to be part of them. They sponsor my life. They sponsor everything, my family. So go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on anything you want to buy on that site. If you want to get water, it's exclusively on Amazon.com. Murder your thirst, y'all. I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swipe the credit card. Don't really tell me much. Didn't give me much details of anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life, One Chance podcast is now with Removery. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Removery has 155 locations and 1.8 million treatments. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology, cryo-technology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Definitely check out One Life, One Chance podcast, episode 281. I have Carmen Brody, Mike McTurnan, and Dustin Ortle from Removery. And this is over 2-hour conversation. People had submitted questions. It's an incredible conversation breaking down the do's, the don'ts, the fears, process, the results, everything you could imagine about getting a tattoo removed. It's all in this podcast. It's an incredible episode. I appreciate them all coming out for it. So check that out if you want to learn more about Removery and what it's like to get a tattoo removed. Once again, go to removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out. I have a lot of friends who are sober, a lot of friends who are straight edge, a lot of my friends who are going through it. I know struggling with substance abuse and alcoholism can be really, really hard, especially knowing who to turn to. It can be really, really daunting. I'm here to say that a good friend of mine and his friend started this incredible treatment center called Refine Recovery. They gave me a phone number, 855-516-3332. You can text, you can call them. It's totally confidential. It's safe. There'll be somebody on the other line to help you out, a compassionate human being to talk to. They help you navigate the process, the insurance treatments. They accept most of private insurances. You can go refinerecovery.com, Refine Recovery Instagram. I know it's hard, but reach out to somebody, man. People care about you. People love you. People want you to be here for a long time. People love you in their lives. If you're going through it, make this phone call. It's totally private. I know people DM me all the time about going through it and going through sobriety and trying to get straight and trying to take care of themselves, and the struggle is totally real. And Refine Recovery is the definitely move. Reach out to them, 855-516-3332, or text them, 855-516-3332. You can call or text this number anytime, 855-516-3332. You know the drill. This number is here for you to call.